Hi, I'm Jack,
And I'm Lewis.
and welcome to the XLRtists podcast.
Aye.
We have our first guest on this week,
Stephen McCafferty.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
all the way from Edinburgh.
Aye.
So
Getting the train and everything.
yeah, and picked up
Jack picked me up though.
Aye.
with a
How
chaperone
very
board.
nice. Aye.
He did.
Mm.
Got a wee video of that.
I actually thought I'd missed the train. I knew you were on the train.
Yeah.
Then everyone came off the train and walked out the train station. I'm still sitting there going, I think I have to pick him up for Brodie.
I'm a really slow walker. Always at the end of the line.
So,
tell us a bit about yourself before we get in it.
What would you like to know?
Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get here?
So my name is Stephen McCafferty. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been writing songs since I was 10 years old. I'm originally from a wee village called Leslie, which is considered now part of Glenrothes, but much older than Glenrothes. Lived in Edinburgh since 2010, and that's where I consider myself to be from now. Although anytime I do say I'm from Edinburgh on any kind of videos or podcasts or radio, people from Fife do get on at me. Says, you're not from Edinburgh.
I suppose you.
How long do you have to live somewhere before you can?
Well, that's it. How long do you live there before you turn into that person?
Yeah.
Aye.
I think if you really like that place in your own mind, you turn into it pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in Edinburgh for probably almost, if not longer, than I've lived anywhere else.
Right. So yeah, you're an Edinburghian then.
16 years in Fife, really, and then
That's just coming
16
on.
years in Edinburgh. Aye, so
There you go.
I can say I'm from Edinburgh, surely.
Yeah, the better half of your life is Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's actually.
Aye.
So did you find yourself moving around a lot?
Not the first 16 years. I had a pretty settled life until I was mid-teens to early 20s. It was about a 6 to 7 year period where there was a lot of instability, a lot of sofa surfing and crashing with mates, and not really having a settled life.
Yeah. Character building though.
Aye, I would say so.
Very.
Aye.
And then the last 16 in Edinburgh, that could have been steady. Is it most of the time in Edinburgh been?
Well, it was Edinburgh. That was
the start. That was the start of it.
That was the turning point.
Right,
really,
okay.
That's where my life started to become settled. I've told you this. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but I when I got to Edinburgh, it was staying in a homeless shelter, and before that, it was like just 6 or 7 years of chaos all over the place. And then Edinburgh was like the first time it was like, hey, I'm here. I didn't know anyone in Edinburgh then, so it was a case of just allowing myself that kind of breathing room to just start building a new life. And and now, it's the last 6 years apart, I've definitely been the most settled. So me and my partner got a house about 5 years ago.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Aye. So, I see you've got your bit of paper there.
Yeah, I've got loads here.
Got loads. Aye.
We'll come back to that then. We'll come back into that subject to life. So, you're a singer, songwriter. How do you write songs? How do you start?
It's always playing guitar and humming over the top of it and singing gibberish.
Right.
It's always been that way. Well, not when I first started, because when I first started I couldn't play guitar, but I used to listen to either dance radio where there was very little vocals, or I wrote a lot of my early songs to Moby's Play album, because he also didn't have many lyrics, and also Moby, aye.
Right.
And also I don't know if you remember, but PlayStation 1 games, the discs, if you put them in the CD player, you could listen to the soundtrack. So I used to sing.
Do I even know that?
So I used to sing over the top to the soundtracks and stuff like that. Again, but it's always been just mumbling until words start to form.
Yeah.
And now it's a case of the process is very set. So I'll have a purple patch of about 2 to 3 weeks where I'm just generating a lot of ideas, and it's always like just chords and melodies.
What do you mean with purple patch?
Like a patch of inspirations where it's just constant.
So it's just a time.
It's kind of like a manic phase, or just constantly generating ideas.
I've had some purple phase. I've never knew that's what it's called. I never knew it had a name.
It's a kind of football term, isn't it?
Right.
Where a player's really on form.
Right.
It's like a purple patch. But so I'll be doing that. And then, but I'll be like, the good thing about it is there is like, I'm generating so many melodies and chords. I just put them on voice notes or record onto hard drives and stuff like that, and then I'll kind of forget about it. And then when I come back to look over ideas, I'll I like that. Actually, I'm going to work on that, and that's when I sit down to properly start kind of craft it and mold it into something or join ideas together.
I've never heard it being described as that, as a purple patch, but I mean it makes sense because that's kind of how it happens. You spend a bit of time, you don't write nothing, and then you have this.
Well, that's why I like doing it that way, because like when I'm not feeling inspired and those ideas aren't coming, I can go into a kind of editorial stage where I am kind of Frankensteining ideas together, or just keeping it ticking over. Because I don't so much panic now, but I used to get really anxious after a period like that, because I'd be like, where's it gone? I can't write anything now. And I would start to worry that I'll never write a song again. I was speaking to my friend just the other day about this, Rory Campbell. When he was talking about the same sort of thing, and it was a case of when you're younger, you do feel, when you're writing songs when you're younger, you do feel lucky that a song's shown up, because you feel like you've had very little to do with it. All of a sudden you've just got this song, you're like, fucking hell, that was lucky. I hope that happens again. But as you get older, you realise it's just part of the process, and you're going to go through periods where you don't feel as inspired. But that's pretty much my process all the time now. It's a case of those purple patches followed by an editorial stage.
So that's your routine.
That's the routine now. Yeah.
I was talking with my dad yesterday, and he goes, I love your songs. I love just the idea of songwriting, and you get the lyrics, and then you get the music, and then you get this idea, and you do this, and you do that, and you do this, and he put out like 10 steps to writing a song. I went, none of it works like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that, because I mean, for myself, I'm completely different to that. I just, sometimes I've got words that we'll put to music. Other times I've got a little bit of riff, and there's no set way, I don't think, for me. And I don't know if you've been doing it for a long time.
You're quite new into the game of songwriting. It was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's like I'm still trying to find my feet, but you've been doing it since you were 10, so you've probably went through those different stages.
Yeah, and like you hear of other songwriters when you're growing up of how they do it. Like David Bowie had different techniques where he would cut up a bunch of words and mess them all up and just write songs in this really kind of abstract way. And it's and you would try all that stuff out. And you see people online talk about various techniques and all that, and you do try them, but you find what works for you.
Yeah.
And and that's what there is exceptions. So sometimes lyrics, 9 times out of 10 come last for me. I'll maybe get a line or two during the period of coming up with melodies, and I'll just that's what I'll end up saving the song as, or the demo as, and then I'll work it. But the lyrics are always coming last. I don't even know what I'm going to be writing about when I start to kind of put lyrics together. It's a case of I like a line, and then I tend to just follow the rhyme. So if I've got a first couple of lines, pretty much the rest of the song, I know that I'll be able to get that now, because that's the first 2 lines. I've unlocked the rest, because I'll just be following the rhyme scheme. I'll just be looking for words that's like fits in
just
with that,
fit in,
and then eventually you're like, oh, this, because I think as well, we all have our interests and we all have themes that we resonate with. So those, it's always going to naturally form into something that means something to you, because it's effectively coming from you, and it's coming from how you feel about things. So lines that resonate with you, whilst it might all be all over the place to begin with, by the end of the song, it's going to mean something because it's come from you anyway.
Aye.
I've really had a chat about songwriting with other people. This could just be a chat about songwriting.
It could, and it could change your whole outlook. It could.
Probably. I mean,
that's
when you're so early in it. We're finding our feet all the time.
Aye, I definitely think the most important thing for us to do now that the Meadows is out of the way, we need to get it. We need to start properly songwriting again. Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you take gaps, like when because we don't have many gigs coming up, so that's.
I worry sometimes. I know I've just said I don't, but I do if I feel like. See, since I've been releasing music again, so since 2024 when I started releasing, it's been quite relentless. So it's been a single every 8 weeks for 20 months, and then the last period has been a 6-month break, but I've spent that time recording new songs. Last year I did worry, oh God, I don't think I've finished a lyric for ages. I'm still doing all those little ideas and loads of demos, and I can't wait to get round to all those melodies. But last year I did think, God, I've not finished a lyric for ages. But writing and reading is quite intimately linked for me. It's like it replenishes the vocabulary if I'm reading.
Right.
I hadn't read for a long time either, so it made sense to me. Well, I've not read
just reading anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just a case of, like I say, it's just. Do you ever get sometimes if you're writing in a kind of essay way that all of a sudden when you start having conversations with people, you've got access to more words than you normally would because it's like it's warmed up the brain.
Yeah.
That's what it's like for me if I'm writing, if I'm reading. Whatever it could be anything, not so much like online or anything, but like reading books. It just replenishes the vocabulary, and
Right.
I've got more access to things. So I decided to do that last year. I decided to read. I was getting interested in a guy called Mark Fisher, and I decided to read his book Ghosts of My Life. And off the back of that, it only took me about 15 or 20 pages to get in, and I was like feeling like I'd ready to go. And that's how 20th Century Gold Rush came about. And I wrote it like maybe the day after.
Right. Okay, like he's just even saying that. When I started songwriting, I was journaling. So I'd be writing.
Aye.
But I'm not writing songs, just I'm journaling.
Yeah.
And then I would write something ridiculously soppy that was going through my head at the moment. And I'd be like, that'd be a great song lyric.
Yeah.
And then that's how it started for there. But Nick, you're saying that, just putting pieces together that you don't.
I think it's good. Like reading, this is why I like reading books more than anything else, because it gives you time to kind of just sit with it and think about what you've read. And reading is like an invitation to think. And when you're thinking and you're like trying to work stuff out and all that, those ideas will just surface, you know. And then you've got the seed of a song that could potentially become something worth writing.
Aye, every day's a school day,
Aye.
as they say.
It's very interesting because it's like personally, I've never really been into writing lyrics at all.
You can do it though.
I could, yeah. It's every like. It's like every 20th lyric or something. It's just changing.
Wait, you're really good
stuff.
with, like, you have a lyric like Jack fell out a tree and now I need to pee. Like, you figure out the next, you know exactly how many syllables it needs and where it needs to go.
Aye.
There are a lot of times I'll put something in about Jack fell out a tree and I went a long way home before I went for a pee.
Right.
It's like you got too much in there, you take bits out.
That makes sense if your brain works like that. Like earlier on when I was playing those chords and you seemed to just know exactly without seeing what I was playing. And they're quite obscure, the things I play, and you knew the shape before you even saw it. So if your brain's already working like that, it's kind of, because that's like gets into kind of poetic form, where if you get something like a Shakespearean sonnet, you've got like I think 10 lines, and each line has 10 syllables, and it's a rhyme pattern of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G.
Is that what a sonnet is?
It's what a Shakespearean sonnet is. And the
It's
thing,
all an iambic pentameter.
all that stuff.
And
But
They're all kind of like that.
That's
and
what a
the lines.
melody is, though.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's like the reason people write in that, because they're trying to limit themselves. Because if they end up doing freeform poetry, which a lot of people do anyway, it can go all over the place. And there's no I heard Stephen Fry talk about this, and it wasn't him that said the line. I can't remember who he said this, but it's like freeform poetry is like playing tennis without the net, whereas you need a bit of structure that you can end up shaping the words in, and that's what melody does for me. And I think that's why melody comes first for me, because that gives me the structure, and then those shapes that I'm humming or mumbling, those shapes will start to form words, and they'll have a certain syllable count. Then all of a sudden I've got those lines that fit within that space, and I think that stuff's intuitive. You'll get people, academics, who turn it all into forms and all that kind of stuff, but I think it is intuitive to everyone.
I think you're right. You can do a lot of things without being taught in it, and it just makes sense. And then there's some things that you just can't do without knowing everything about it. Yeah. But like words, I think, because people speak all the time, and you listen to music all the time, and you'll watch TV shows, and you hear. It's always, even in like movies, they've got 80 movies that had like the best one-liners, and it's like lyrics. It's just good lyrics.
Well,
that you're saying at that time, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think it's pattern recognition.
Yeah,
and we all do that, and it's inbuilt into us. We can't help but do it. It's like it's why we see Jesus Christ in toast, or we see faces in the clouds. We notice patterns, and that's what we're doing when we hear language. And it you don't have to get all academic about it. You don't need to know what this is called or that's called. You'll just recognise it intuitively because it's accessible to everyone.
Talking about recognising patterns, we did speak in the last podcast about recognising patterns.
There you go.
I can't even remember.
Breaking the fourth wall.
That's what we were talking about, the simulation. We're in the simulation.
Aye. But yeah, we are pattern recognition machines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's quite funny how like it's like we're the exact same as like all the rest of the animals. I'm pretty sure we got onto this in the last podcast.
I think so, yeah.
It's like we're just pattern recognition and enforcement kind of things. So it's like we see a pattern, if something happens because we've done something. It's like and that thing was good. We'll keep doing it.
Well, that's why in terms of survival, the example that gets used is the rustle in the bush. And like back when we were cavemen and we were living on the savannah and all that, if you heard a rustle in the bush, you need to think that could be a fucking lion or a tiger. The people that didn't think it was a lion or a tiger got eaten, and they didn't get to pass on their genes. The people that were just constantly anxious about these patterns, like, oh shit, I could be eaten by now, that's a kind of survival instinct. So yeah, it's like inbuilt, and that's why we see faces on Mars and that kind of structure and all that kind of thing.
Right.
There's it's not just arbitrary, the reason that we are why we are. It's evolution, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly.
Aye.
Others
may I could say something silly like others may disagree, but they are wrong. But nah, it's you're free to believe what you want to believe.
But you can still be wrong.
Aye, but
everybody can be wrong.
What?
We can all be wrong.
Aye. Can your calculator be wrong when you ask it 1 + 1? Well, if it's made wrong, then it will say.
That's a whole different subject, isn't it?
Aye. Anyway,
your songs are like, I don't know if I'm saying the right word. Is it a metaphor? They're fully metaphors. That's right?
Yeah.
Aye, and I think I try and do the same. So it was really nice listening to you singing earlier. Is that kind of like the main focus when you're writing? I use a lot of metaphors. Right?
I do like a metaphor. Yeah. I like words.
Mm-hmm.
I'm massively into etymology, which is like the origin of words and where they come from. And I just love words generally. I like the sound of them. I like the shape of them. And I just get quite excited by new. And I was always like that as a young kid as well. I especially like words that that roll and kind of fill them out. So like my favourite word of all time is sonoluminescence, and it means where like it's like light's created from sounds. It's like an acoustic. Acoustic. There's a crab that does it, and I can't remember what the name of the crab is, but it clicks its claws, and there's so much noise or so much acoustic that comes from it that it creates a little bubble of light, and if you were to be able to penetrate that bubble of light, it's the hotter than the sun or something like that. I don't remember the details. Someone can fact check me.
But, someone can fact check you in the comments section.
In the comments section. But yeah, so words like that and like onomatopoeia, those kind of words, and that's not necessarily speaking to your metaphor question, but I like
lyrics in general. Yeah,
lyrics in general, and like, I do like symbolism, which effectively is what metaphor is. You're trying to paint a picture through. And
metaphors are the best way for it. Like people can then, and you can also hear a metaphor and put it to what you want to make it as well.
Yeah, I think it's easier for us to understand because it grounds an idea in everyday language. It's why when you hear if you hear people talking about the size of things, they'll use like, oh, this is like 2 football pitches, or this is as big as 10 double-decker buses. It's like we need that kind of imagery just to fully understand the scale of things. I think it just helps ground big ideas.
Yeah.
Aye.
Fucking so making sense.
It really is. Aye.
You should teach songwriting, by the way.
Nah.
I think I'm going to go home tonight and write a song.
Good.
Aye.
There are loads of metaphors in it.
Aye. I don't know. I just kind of keep it over. I'm sure it was just thinking about Stephen Fry and all that QI. There was something about double-decker buses. They're actually a double-decker bus is now smaller than a double-decker bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a double-decker bus, when you say, oh, that's 30 double-decker buses long.
They're not that size no more.
No, they're not that size no more. It's an exact number of feet. It was because it's the old London buses. Was it the Route Masters?
So when an old person tells you something, you're like, shut up, you bastard, you're wrong.
Aye. It's slightly less double-decker buses than you think, actually.
So we'll have to go back to the old way of comparing it to like blue whales.
Aye.
Because they've not changed.
No.
Or what's
biggest mammal to ever exist, or biggest animal to ever exist?
I think so.
Aye. What's it? I'm just thinking, what do Americans compare their sizes to?
Florida, people in Florida.
They do football. I know they do football fields.
They do football fields. They don't do the big. What's their big pickup trucks and all that? They don't do
Oh,
that.
Ford F-150s.
They're the small ones.
They're the small ones. Well, I suppose it means it sounds like more than.
That was like old push bikes, old BMXs, Huffies. Did you ever have a Huffy when you were younger?
I had a BMX. I don't know what a Huffy is.
Huffies used to come and you used to get a 1 ton, a quarter ton, and a half ton. But the quarter ton was the heaviest of the bikes. They were like massive, like huge, big fucking things that you tried to bunny hop with, and you almost pulled your arms out the sockets. But if you had a 1 ton and you done it, you would like head them in because they were real light. But it just didn't make sense that the heavy one was the lighter one.
I guess that was it's because if you're going to be doing that jump, it's off the back of a lot of momentum, and so the heavier it is, the more momentum it would have when you're coming onto the
physics, science bitches. Yeah, probably. Actually, yeah, probably a bit of that, isn't it? Yeah.
What do
the
you call
momentum
it?
that's carrying it, rather than
inertia. That's the word. There you go. Don't know.
I even studied engineering. I don't know what we're talking about.
Aye.
So, I was gonna ask you if the music or the writing came first, but you kind of answered that already.
It's the music.
When you were younger, though, how did it start? Like, how did you get into music? Did you
kind of by accident? I like I said earlier on, I grew up in a wee place called Leslie, and I ended up moving school when I was about 9, just turning 10, and the first friend I made was a guy called Callum. And so before that, music had always been in my life. So like I grew up in my mum's record collection mostly. She had this record player. And in fact, my gran gave me this record player, and my mum had all these records. So I was listening to stuff like David Bowie, but she had lots of 80s compilation tapes as well, and be things like Deacon Blue, and be things like Eurythmics especially, and I used to listen all the time to Never Gonna Give You Up long before it ever became a meme. I used to listen to that all the time on the record, and so I have distinct memories of just dancing and singing along to songs and all that, but in a quite passive way. Like I was never going to go, oh, I love Rick Astley. It was just a case of that's just music. It's like I'll probably thought of it more like a toy, you know. I'm thinking of this as something that I'm doing. When I moved to that school, I met a guy called Callum, and he was the first friend that I made, and he's a big Oasis fan, and I didn't even know what it meant to be a fan of a band or anything like that at that age, and he asked me to be in a band with him and his brother, and my main objective would have been just to, he's my friend, so yeah, I didn't really know what that meant. And he said, if you're going to be in the band, it's under the condition that you write songs, which is a mental thing for a 10-year-old to say to another 10-year-old. It seems so like switched on. I think
he's probably seen something that Noel or Liam said, and it's like, if you've got to be in a band, you've got to write songs, can't just do covers.
He was a massive Oasis fan, so I'm guessing he saw interviews. He was one of the guys that had all the fucking...
I mean, he was obviously a great guy.
He had all the hidden tracks. Like everything's so accessible these days that we forget how it was
back in the day though.
Didn't have access.
I remember.
He had bootleg stuff. He had everything. So he'd have watched all the interviews. So he probably would have heard how important songwriting was to be in a band, and he passed it on to me. And I was like, okay, I'll write songs. And I went home that night and I wrote my very first song, and I enjoyed it so much that I never stopped, and it just kept going. And it just turned out that I was just like, even though he was the one that gave me the condition that you have to write songs, for every song he wrote I'd written 10, and I just got obsessive with it, and I was just writing all the time. And I used to create these lists, because I used to just do song titles. I used to have these. I had like these are my first 10 albums. These are what they're going to be called. And I used to get really obsessed about what they were called. These weren't even songs. These were just lines and words that I liked and all that, like what I said earlier on about enjoying words. And I would just do that. And I don't think I wrote a single one of them. But I would keep writing because, you know, songs would eventually come. And yeah, that's how I got into it. And then eventually I started playing guitar.
Right. When did you start playing guitar?
Probably started. There was a guitar in the house because my dad got one to play himself, and he wouldn't let. He said I wasn't allowed to touch it, but I used to sneak a shot every time I get the weekends when they would go shopping, going to the messages. So I get like an hour and a bit for just messing around with the guitar.
See how Pornhub's changed the world, eh? Mum and Dad got the house, now it's straight into Pornhub. Back in the day it was an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, that was my
That's why there's no guitar bands now.
But he caught me eventually. Thankfully, playing guitar and not on Pornhub. But he caught me, but by that point, I had gotten quite a lot of hours into it and into the guitar, and yeah, he heard that I could do it, and he was like, because he could only play Happy Birthday on one string. So yeah, that became my guitar, and I would reckon that's probably 12, 13.
Right. Self-taught.
I mean, for the very first year of guitar, I didn't understand what tuning was. I had no idea what that meant as a concept. So my guitar was so badly out of tune.
Even if you were playing something you weren't playing,
it made no sense because I had a big book a big guitar book which I never read, but on the very back of it was this big massive index of chords. And I used to go through them, and I'd play the shape on the guitar, and I'd be like, this sounds so shit. So I ended up this was actually once I got an electric guitar. That's the guitar that I'm talking about just now. But I ended up just making up my own chords, which I think in the long term probably served me well, because I just was starting messing around.
That's what Phoebe done.
Until I found Phoebe from Friends.
Yeah,
is that what she did?
Just made shapes, yeah.
Yeah, well that's what I did. Because I remember the very first time I took that round to my mate Gary's, who had a garage, and we used to jam there. There was a guitarist around the street from him, a guy called Stephen Rowley, who was like an absolute genius at guitar. He came around with his guitar, and we were all just jamming, and I was terrified that he was about to tell me when he had a shot at my guitar, oh, this is broken, because I had the feeling that it was. And I was like, oh God. And I remember the thought, if he tells me that's broken, I'm done.
That's it.
I'm done. I'm not playing. I'm not doing this anymore. That's a whole year wasted. And I handed it to him, and he was like, oh man, this is really out of tune.
He just tuned it.
And I was like, well, I don't even know what that means. And he tuned it up, handed it back, and I was like, and the thing was, all the chords that I had been learning, like all the shapes, they were still there.
Yeah, you knew the shapes.
And I was playing them, and all of a sudden it just sounded like magic. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. I went home, wrote 10 songs that night.
It's like someone seeing light for the first time.
That's really what it was like, man. I couldn't believe it. But I think I don't come from a background of musicians or anything like that, so it was all learning myself, making mistakes, and just for me, the whole concept of tuning a guitar, again, probably because I'm thinking of these as toys when I'm a kid. It's like, you get a toy, it works.
Yeah, you don't do anything else with it.
You have to do it. It works. I've got to fucking maintain this. What are you talking about?
Probably why kids don't like them when you've got to maintain them.
Aye.
I had no idea maintenance when it came to guitar, and thankfully, thank you, Stephen Rowley, for.
I don't remember having a tuner actually. In fact, I remember having one that looked like a cassette. Do you remember those ones?
The ones you blow in?
No, it was for the guitar, but it looked like a cassette.
It's like a Korg, an old Korg tuner.
I don't even know. You would play it.
They're
you
like
would tune it that way. But I didn't have one of those for a while. But again, I wasn't a good guitarist until about 5 years ago. And even now, it's still a bit sketchy at times.
I've only started playing about 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you're like one of the sponges.
Aye, well, I suppose it does help.
When you say that, you're not talking about piano?
No, I'm not talking about piano.
Like
I did piano. I started that when I was 6. I got lessons for 12 years.
Well, you've just reminded me of something from earlier. When you were, I can't remember what you were talking about now, but it's gone again. I hate it when that happens. So it was about like songwriting.
Aye.
You kind of follow patterns that people have done for years, and then you start talking about you playing. So the way that songwriting is structured, where did you say it's come from? It's for Shakespeare, like the melodies, and it's came from there. So see if someone else had come along that wasn't Shakespeare, and it's like someone come along and instead of building a combustion engine, you build something else. Like, what different way could music go?
Well, I'm not saying that melody comes from that. I'm just using that, saying that melody is like a form
Yeah, well,
that you would find
songs come from that. Even the way you were describing it,
Yeah.
it's the way songs form and it's the way they go. So, is there another way that could ever be done? Is that something that'll be found one day and people will be like, "Oh my god, this blows my mind"? But it's still music, but it's just completely different.
Jazz.
Jazz. Well, I suppose jazz
Well,
does follow a different path.
Think about like Western music pre 1900. It's like it was getting more interesting and more interesting. But it's like if you go instead of 1900 back to 1800, it's so rigorously defined what you're allowed to do, what you aren't allowed to do.
So it's changed since then.
What, 1800 to 19?
Yeah, but I just thought people. I just thought it was like physics, where people are just learning more and more about it, and then you're learning more.
Well, it's kind of like institutions. So it's like the music schools. Just think about like classical music. There's like incredibly like restrictive, because it's like the way that like music kind of came about. Yeah, there was always people playing it in a kind of folk setting, just writing songs like that. But then it's what was it? Like you could never make any money out of it unless you were just busking. Or anything.
But that's what I mean.
or selling sheet music.
It obviously doesn't sound right though. If you're playing different kinds of music, because it sounds right in the ear, music. Usually,
it's one of the things I've wondered in terms of like happy music, sad music, because like we've all watched movies where a scene can be totally like elevated by a really sad piece of music, and then you start getting, oh my god, I'm so sad, and it's like, is that something that's been universal for forever, where you would instinctively know, oh, that's sad music? How far back do you go? It's like, or maybe there's a culture, it's like where the music that we find really sad is actually quite joyous and euphoric, and it's like
sexual.
Or sexual.
No,
You
never know.
I mean, sad music can be
I
quite
suppose
sexual.
you could know. You could go and ask.
Or just play it and see who gets a boner.
Aye. Just play and look at that bit of the trousers.
I had something else to say there. Something else popped in my head whilst we were talking about it. What were we talking about there? Music. Frequency, that's what it was. I think music's like music is frequency. Like sound is frequency.
Well, yeah. It was.
So it makes
sound
a
is
frequency.
Well,
like a wave.
It can be yeah.
So
sound is just differences in audio pressure levels that are detected by your eardrums. Well, sound doesn't actually exist. It's just in our head.
But it comes as a wave frequency.
It comes as just air moving back and forth.
As a
and
frequency.
propagating.
Is this like a whole theory that just doesn't
No,
make
I
sense
mean,
in
I
my
think
head?
Well, no, it's like sound is composed of.
It's
It can be composed of frequencies.
Where I was going with that was that there must be somewhere the perfect frequency. So is that what making the perfect song is? Is just try to find that frequency that just resonates with people, where they hear it and they're like, oh, this is good.
Are you thinking of brown noise?
Maybe.
See that noise you just made there?
Yeah.
They've taken the radiation at the beginning of the Big Bang and they converted that into sound, and it sounds like an om. It goes om.
That was great at the Big Bang.
At the beginning of the Big Bang, the sound was om.
Microwave background radiation.
Whereas, and that's mental when you look at some religions and faiths that have decided that om is this powerful.
It's very interesting.
But see what you're talking about.
Patterns.
We're talking about frequency and stuff, and talking about patterns. One of the most interesting things that, if you don't already know about it, you will be so interested in it. It's this thing called cymatics. Do you know what that is?
I know that they make samples.
So, okay.
So it's a company.
No,
but yeah,
it's called cymatics, and it's where frequency you can measure it by, say if you get a board and put it across an amplifier, and you get fine grains of sand, or you can see it with water. You put it on top of a board and you play frequencies through the amplifier. That sand will start to make geometric shapes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Resonance is like the modes of vibration.
I've seen
triangles, circles, hexagons.
It's really cool.
It's like, what the fuck is that?
But see if you were to do that to like it's like why like symbols sound like symbols, but it's the same metal depending on what kind of thing, like, because I think they're 80/20s. That's the exact same metal that's in those symbols, that's wrapped around those strings, but it sounds totally different. But it's like if you somehow manage to do the same thing with the grains of sand on a guitar string, it doesn't really work. But it's like the ways that it's vibrating, it's totally different to a cymbal.
It's the same material.
But it's the same thing. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So depending on like the size and the shape, and it's you can I could imagine doing something like that with a cymbal would be really, really interesting.
I think can you know how do they do it? Because they tune the piece, they tune the plate, don't they? So then they go down it with like a one of those things.
What?
For the cello.
A bow?
Yeah, they run down it with a bow. Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
you can do that. But like the way I'm talking, it's just a board across an amplifier.
Oh, right.
Fine grains of sand.
And
it's the frequency coming through the amplifier that will make the sand turn into these geometric shapes.
And it is I think it's like because it's like you play like a frequency sweep, so it goes up in terms of pitch. And it's like some frequencies it's just chaos. It's like there's no discernible pattern. It's just bits of sand going everywhere. But then as soon as you hit one of the resonant frequencies of that board, it can be made of anything, and then it's like suddenly the sand in certain places just stops moving, and it just clears away from all of the bits that it's moving the most.
Yeah,
and it's really, really interesting, like the patterns.
And there's people that believe that, you know, you go back into ancient times, that they were moving these big fucking monolithic blocks through sound. They were levitating stone. I have no idea. But
so we were
it's
talking
interesting.
about earlier, you can never rule these things out. Just because we don't do it now, maybe.
I think it's there's so much in ancient history that we couldn't build today. That it's like, or we don't know how they did it. And if you don't know how someone does something, it always leaves room for a bit of conspiracy and a bit of fun. Yeah.
Whereas it's like it's all just there, ready to be rediscovered. It's just we haven't rediscovered it yet.
That's the interesting thing about it, man. Like, see, there's this guy called Alexander of Heron that created a toy in ancient Greece called. I can't remember what the toy was called, but it was all the mechanics and all the engineering was there for a steam engine. That was 1,000.
It's like a ball, and it's got like the spouts like outside it, and it's like you put an alcohol burner under it.
I don't know how.
What is it? You can put a burner in it, and it spins and gets faster and faster.
And that was 1,000 years before the Industrial Revolution. But they just thought, they just dismissed it as a toy. But the engineering was there and it was ready to go. So you just wonder how many things from history could have actually been missed.
There's got to be things even now that people have got that are working in their basement.
I would have thought so.
Or they're working in their kitchen making this thing up, and the kids come in like, do not touch that. Please do not touch that. That you will cause a black hole to erupt in the kitchen.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that end up getting killed, and then there's theories that spawn off it because it's like, well, they were working on like scientists and stuff like that. They were working on perpetual energy, and that doesn't require oil. But we currently live in a time where oil is king. Did
you ever hear about the guy that made his car run on water?
I've heard a few. I don't know the specifics, but
again, it might not be true. But I'd heard that this guy, he made his car run on hydrogen, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was hydrogen, and then it exhausts just water.
But I'm sure, either way, it was something like that was just going to cripple the oil companies.
Yeah.
And he told somebody about it, and then the next thing he was dead.
Well, it's that makes sense. Billion. It's like we've actually no idea how much money they actually have. The oil families, like the Saudis and the what is it? We've no idea how much money they've got. It's like we say that Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos is the richest man on the planet, but they don't let anybody know how rich they are.
Yeah. At what point does being rich just become like money's leaving a thing?
I think you see it when they look for something else to fill the hole. They've got all the money in the world, but then they look for more power, because
traveling to different planets.
Traveling different planets or becoming president.
Or being Burns.
It's like, this might be the thing that I need in my life. I've got this big empty hole.
Oh, that's money. I don't need that.
That's not filled me up. So maybe it's kids.
Maybe. Never know.
We do know, and it is not.
It is not.
So I came up with this question as we were sitting earlier. Who's your inspirations? And follow up from that question. Since you've started being a musician, has that changed? So like when you're growing up, you're like, oh, I love that guy. He's such a... And then you start being a musician and doing stuff, and you're like, guy's better. No, actually.
Well, Oasis is probably a good shout for that, in terms of my perception change, because I was a big fan.
Wait a minute, where's this going?
I'm still a fan of the songwriting. I suppose I think the thing that I mean, the recent stuff where Oasis sort of came back into it and they kind of fleeced the fans with tickets and stuff like that. And Noel Gallagher is always talking about where's the next band coming from, where's this, and I just don't see them actually doing anything to help that.
No, you're
come
definitely
through.
you're right with that.
And Liam Gallagher with the whole working class artist type stuff. The guy was in the biggest rock band in the world by the time he was 18. I think he was on the dole before that. I don't think he's had a job. So I guess that would be the difference. I mean, and also Oasis, the music of Oasis is so part of the culture, it's part of the wallpaper that it's hard to hear it. If that makes sense. So that's been one that changed, but they were a big influence. And Noel Gallagher, I'm still always curious what Noel Gallagher's doing as a songwriter.
You know, actually, you're spot on with that, because as a band, they're unbelievable. Like the music for me, I love the music. I always have, always will. Probably have some lyrics on my grave. I've got some on my chest. There will be. But as people for the music industry, I remember when Arctic Monkeys came out, Noel Gallagher said something like, "There'll be a shit band. There'll never be a band because of their name." And it was never wanting the next person to come on.
No, your band's named after a type of fruit juice.
Right, Lewis, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're listening.
But I've seen Oasis a couple of times. So I saw Oasis when I was about maybe 16, 17, and I did get a bit starstruck. And I was always Noel was my favourite. But when I went to go and see them and I saw Liam Gallagher, kind of just strode out. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, what a king! Yeah. But it's probably the change. But I don't know if there's been many others that have changed. But when I first started getting into music, as I say, a lot of the bands that I was listening to were bands that my mum had in the house. So it was the Eurythmics or it was the Cranberries, who my favourite album of all time is Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We, which is the Cranberries' first album. And the song that I would love to hear, the very last song I ever hear in my life would be Dreams. I think it just makes me feel euphoric. I just love it. It reminds me of summer. When I started getting into songwriting, I think my dad, I remember I was maybe more into the Spice Girls than my dad was wanted me to be. So he went out and bought some records from him, and it was like Bob Dylan, the Animals, the Who, the Kinks. We already had the Beatles in the house, and all of those records, because he knew that I was trying to get into songwriting, so I'm guessing that's why he did it. And he wanted me to kind of look to like world class songwriters to see. And the one that stuck was Bob Dylan, who I also seen when I was about 16. Right. But Bob Dylan, in terms of lyrics, Bob Dylan, I don't think there's anyone that's been better.
I watched a show about Bob Dylan not long ago, and it was about his songwriting. I can't remember what they called it, but there's a name for what he does, and he just writes. So he'll just sit there and he'll write 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 and he'll write. It can be related and it can be non-related. So you'd have like this whole book of lyrics, and then he would just pick for them and then just put them into a song.
There's some songs that we know,
like
that are famous songs.
Blues. It's just random words the whole way through.
Yeah, and that was the first song. That was the first song of Bob Dylan that really was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I don't know if you've noticed in the kind of writing that I do, but I'm a rapid fire lyrics with a lot of things.
That's what
I think it comes for that. I think I was so into Subterranean Oceanic Blues.
Do you think that comes for like? Did you listen to much hip hop when you were younger?
No, I've never directly, but it was around because when I was at high school, the two big scenes was your kind of rap and hip hop. Yeah. And it was and new metal and emo and all that kind of stuff. So, and also like the music I was listening to wasn't necessarily that, but when I was going to parties, this was the music that was on. Biffy Clyro, I was always on at parties that I was at, and I didn't like Biffy Clyro forever. But now I get quite nostalgic about those songs because they remind me of those parties that I go to as a teenager.
Music's got that weird power of it where you can like hear something that, especially when you were like 16 and 15, 16 at a party. Yeah. And you had smash hits playing in the background or something like that, and the song comes on that you heard for then, and it just takes you right back to it.
And I think as well, like, because like when I said earlier, my mum had all these compilation CDs, so it was like Dance Hits 95 and now all the Now stuff. But it's those songs become so intimately connected with one another. Like, I don't think music's like that now, unless you're listening to a playlist from start to finish rather than on shuffle. Because like there's songs like Gangster's Paradise. As soon as I've heard that song has ended, my brain is waiting for boom boom boom, everybody say away, because on Dance It's 95 that came on directly after Gangster's Paradise.
I've not thought of that for a while, but you used to listen to, especially compilation albums like Now, or That's What I Call Music. You would listen to it and the next song would come on, so you hear a song finish and you're always just waiting for that next song.
You're waiting for that next song to come, and those two songs will forever be connected in my life.
I hear Ja Rule's album, I think it was Pain Is Love. It was the big song that was on that. I can't remember what the song's called. That song, when it comes on, it instantly takes me back to being in my granny's back room playing the PlayStation with my cousin.
Yeah.
And we were playing like Grand Theft Auto 2 or something. But it always just takes me straight back to it.
Yeah.
And there's songs for that game, like I can't tell you what they are, but if I hear them, it just takes you straight back to that. Music's like a time machine.
Aye.
I think that's why people with Alzheimer's and dementia and all that end up...
the music's their thing.
Life gets put back into them when a song comes on. You've seen loads of videos of someone who's got dementia. Like my grand's got Alzheimer's, and sometimes, although I don't see her as often as my sister does, but like I've seen pictures and stuff like that, and sometimes you'll see her and she's just not there, and you'll see videos of other people that are like that as well. And then, but then if you put a song on, my gran was a big Elvis fan, so I'd imagine that'd be like that for her. But you see people on videos where they'll play a song from like the 50s and that, and it's like, and they come back live. I saw one recently actually. It was a guy who was in a band when he was a young man, and they put on he had dementia, and they put on a concert in the home. He used to play piano, and they got the whole band back together and put on a concert at the home, and he was like just flying up and down this piano. I think there's a part of
he was playing the piano.
Really? I think there's a part of the memory that's different from how we interface with reality. I think it's like it's just. Do you ever on stage and you're singing and you've sung this song so many times that you're not even thinking about it, and you're thinking about what you're going to have for tea later.
Is this like the flow state?
Aye. But not even that. I just think it's a different part of the brain. It's like all of a sudden you're just looping, and I think it's the looping part of the brain that's accessing these old...
It's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
So it's well, from what I've seen, it's like even though if it's like you can't remember anything, it's like the muscle memory of playing something, of music is just it's not like not taken away by the same.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you find that, because I mean you're really good at music? Do you ever? So for me, when I was younger, learning guitar, I would try to play a song that I could never get, or a riff that I could never ever get, and I'd be trying it terribly for months. And I mean months. We'd try it for ages, because you didn't have YouTube or that. You'd just be like following tabs or whatever. And then you would step away from the guitar for ages, and you'd pick it back up about 6 months later or whatever, and you would try that, and it would just first time, you play it perfectly. But then you play it perfectly, and you go to play it a second time, and you're back to where you were.
That's like me, but instead of 6 months, it's just like a day.
Yeah, you are a bit. You're on the rapid expressway.
I don't know if it's if it's good. I don't really end up playing things that I struggle with.
No,
I don't know. But well, no, I sometimes
like if you're not doing that, like if you're not playing anything that you struggle with, do you ever feel like you plateau with your instrument and you're just kind of going through the motions?
Well, I suppose I'm like that with piano, like completely like that with piano. I'm more writing it rather than trying to play it and get better at it. But it's like with guitar, I'm always. It's not like consciously trying to play better, more interesting stuff, but it's definitely happening. And drums, I did drums at high school. I did a couple of years of lessons of drums as well. Actually, I did it. It was almost 6-7 years actually of lessons every couple of weeks for drums. Just while school was on. So I've just kind of got back into actually drumming more regularly recently. I've been that's the thing. I've been more religiously kind of trying to play more difficult stuff, get better at drumming.
Yeah,
but not with piano anymore.
I find it really hard. Sorry,
No, you go.
I find it hard to play piano. Like I've got one at home, and I'm always trying. I think if you already play an instrument and you can play it to a good level, it's really hard to learn a new one. At least for me, because
I actually find it the complete opposite.
Oh really?
Aye, but I think it's the musical brain rather than just knowing piano.
Aye, that's what I was going to say. I think you understand the theory side of it.
Yeah,
so
I did do the theory exam.
If you understand theory of music, then you can translate it to the different things.
Yeah.
Whereas like me, I'm playing a C chord and I don't know what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Whereas you play a C chord and you know where to find the C chord on there.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me on piano, it's a case of I'm so clunky with it, and I'm so like just going right. Where's the next chord? It's more frustration for me because I can slowly work my way around the piano. I can slowly work my way around it. But if I'm trying to write a song, it's like, oh man, I'll just the guitar.
Yeah.
It's because I don't need to think about playing guitar. But I think generally. Plateauing on instruments is something that does happen. It happened to me.
I think it's part of learning, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be part of the whole experience.
Once you get to a stage where you can play a few songs, you're like, oh, this is great, I can play a few songs. And then if it's easy to get stuck there. Like I only started learning guitar picking properly, like Travis picking and stuff like that, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. But for the longest time, I was just strumming. That's all I did.
That's me just now. I need to get onto the picking eventually.
I've tried picking and I find it really difficult. I can pick with a pick to a level when I know what I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at like learning something that someone else is doing. It's just kind of the way I do it, like Travis picking, that kind of.
Travis picking was like, it's so mad because now I'm just like, again, I don't think about it, but I remember seeing people Travis pick and I was like, and also singing. I was like, how the hell are they Travis picking and singing quite a complicated melody? Like, I suppose it's not so much Travis picking, but Eye on the Buffalo, I'll play this really kind of. And I was like, if you'd said to me 10 years ago that I'd be able to play that and sing, there's no chance.
Yeah, these things just happen as well, eh?
Yeah.
So I could when you start singing, you can't strum and sing. That's difficult, and then you learn to do that, and then like you say, you just start doing these other bits. And I would never thought. I remember when I first wrote "Cost of Love," I sent it to a guy, Nick Bennett, who I know for down south, and he's always been really good with me. He's always kind of been like a mentor, you would say. And I sent him "Cost of Love" when I wrote it. And it used to start, I didn't have the picking at the beginning.
Yeah.
It would be like it would just be straight at the verse chords. And I remember sending it to him and he's like, it's a really good song. He says, but try and change a bit, like build it at the start, so to start with some picking. And I remember he was like, pick it and sing the first verse.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't pick and sing. I just can't do that. And that was only 2 years ago. And now, like, I pick stuff and sing, maybe know the best, but...
You've got kind of a... but like you're kind of calling, like can I pick up that guitar?
Yeah. Aye. A lot of your stuff, Jack's quite swung.
Yeah, you've got a kind of I noticed it watching you, you've got a kind of, you've got that kind of thing going.
I think most of my melodies kind of follow. There's not much difference to them. They're just played in different parts of the guitar. But it's pretty much the same melody. And
I bet if you actually strip it right back down, it'll turn out to be Oasis.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, what's your deal, man?
Aye, nah.
Why are you coming at me?
It's difficult to. I think there's a lot of songs I do that's got a very much like, because he was the very first songwriter I was ever into, so it is that it's ingrained, man. And there's a lot of things that I've done that I'm like, oh, that's fucking straight.
I mean, love it or hate it. It was Oasis were a massive. We're the same age, pretty much. Yeah. We're the same age.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right, so like Oasis were a big. There wasn't many songwriting bands.
It's difficult. So like the question you asked earlier on about those influences, like I was so ingrained with that stuff after I got into it. So like 98, I got into all that stuff, and it was like Oasis and The Verve and Pulp and Supergrass and Blur and all those bands. I fucking loved them all, man. I was a big Robbie Williams fan as well, actually.
I loved Robbie Williams.
And Robbie Williams, those first 3 albums was very much out of the playbook of Oasis. And
that's probably why I like Robbie Williams so much. Like his early stuff was brilliant.
Have you? I mean, you listened to that very first album, that Life Through a Lens, man. Yeah. It's like he said to Guy Chambers, "I want to do that. I want to do what Oasis is doing, and they were like, right, okay, let's do it.
I wonder if they'll ever say that about their first album. Like Jack just wanted to be Oasis.
I think for certain songs, but not for all.
Nah, maybe not. That's the one that you've written.
What I wish I remembered now. It came to when I was listening to your set at the Meadows Fest, I was actually there was an influence of bands that were coming to me, and one of them was Kaiser Chiefs that I heard in your playing.
You know what? You're maybe right with that, and that's like a non. It's a subliminal thing. Yeah, I think it's subconscious. Yeah, I think that happens subconsciously. But Kaiser Chiefs have got some sort of.
Absolutely, man.
I write songs, and I think the more I'm doing it, I'm trying to write songs that people. I want to be like a big band that play in big arenas. That's what I want to do, and you only do that by having songs that people kind of react to, and come back to. So that's, I think, where that comes from. That Kaiser Chiefs said like, "How predictive, right?" It's big songs that people sing and. Ruby, 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 and stuff like that. Just like it's all right. It's like that. It might not be huge at the moment where people catch it, but if it gets to the point that a lot of people know about it, if you were to sing that in an arena that 60,000 people know your songs and are paid to come, they're going to know the words to that song.
See that song, like because when you were playing it, I was like, I ended up just singing along to it, and it's like it's now in my brain.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that like when you guys do that live, you should have a stop, and get some crowd participation there, and maybe have a "It's all right" and just get people singing back to you and all that. I was thinking when you were playing it, it's like, that would be great if you did that. Like all the music stops, and you just got that kind of maybe one instrument keeping everybody going, and it's get everybody to keep saying "It's all right," and I think that'd be.
Let's remember this. That's kind of that comes with playing live as well. You write a song like when I wrote "Take Me Away," it didn't have the acapella part at the end. That was Martin that came up with that, and that came from his experience of doing stuff and playing in bands. And the more you play live, you learn things, and you learn things that you can do. And
playing live will change songs as well. Like so many times that I've played a song, and it's like I've got the structure set out and how I think I'm going to record it, and then you'll play it live, and you'll see how people react to it, and it's like, oh, actually, doing it this way is going to be better.
It's like the band. It's like that completely changes the songs.
Yeah, we write songs. So over the last few that I've wrote them, and I've phoned Lewis about I'm coming into the studio and we're going to record it, and we record a demo it there and then. And you listen to it back and you're like, fuck, this sounds really good. And then the band get a hold of it and it completely changes, and you go back to the demo and you're like, fuck, it doesn't sound anything like it. Yeah, that's a cool part of songs. I never now we were saying earlier, you're kind of like so much more exposed to music and different versions of songs, so you can go online and you can listen to just talking about Oasis, you can listen to Oasis's Don't Look Back in Anger, but you can listen to the versions of it that it's got to where it is now, whereas you never heard that before. And being a musician, you learn that you write a song and you think this is going to sound exactly like this, then after a couple of times of playing it, it's totally went in a completely different path, and it's
and there is no rules to it, man. You can have as many versions of the one song as you want, I think. And just what you're saying, like talking about not having access to music, I think there's younger generations coming up that won't realise there was a period in time where you could hear a song and it would maybe take you, and you could really like that song, and it could take you 10-15 years to ever know what that song was. And that happened to me with Freddie Mercury had a song called Living on My Own. Did you know it?
Living on my own.
I knew it was Freddie Mercury, and I loved the song, and I heard it when I was a kid, and I went through all of Queen's back catalogue, and I just forgot that he had a solo career as well. And I heard that as a kid and properly searched for it, like fucking like a weird adventurer. Like where does this song exist? It seems to exist nowhere, and it took me about 10-15 years. There was another one in there's an episode of Only Fools and Horses where I think they've just become millionaires. And Del Boy's going around the old estate and looking at his old property and his old life. He's reflecting. He's like, they finally did it. Finally made £1 million, or made millions. And there's a song playing over the top by Crosby, Stills and Nash called Our House.
Right.
And I saw it in that episode, and I was like, I love that song so much. But anytime I tried to find it, because it's called Our House, all I was getting was madness.
Yeah.
And again, decades unable to find that song. Whereas now, all music is instantly accessible.
Yeah.
And it's such a strange time. And I think that it takes away the kind of something special.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I feel so connected to those songs because of how much labour went into actually discovering them again.
It's like we were talking about life earlier.
Aye.
That when you've got to struggle for something, it's so much better. But now, like, music's just there.
That's what scarcity does. Scarcity just makes things more valuable.
Yeah.
And there's nothing scarce about music.
My daughter made a podcast. She's not made a podcast. She's made a playlist on Spotify. She was texting me. She's like, "Oh, I've got this great playlist. You need to listen to it. It's got the best songs you've ever heard on it." So she was sending me screenshots. It was like Nirvana, The Cure, Kiss. So many like obscure bands I never listened to as a bairn. But because you've got Spotify and you've got YouTube now, everything's just everywhere. And TikTok, like people are using songs for everywhere. Kids are exposed to so much more music. And I was like, fuck, this sounds like a really good playlist. So I opened it up. 74 hours long. I didn't even know there was that many songs in the world. It was 74 hours long.
Aye.
So she must have just clicked on fucking every song for every generation that...
Aye.
But she has got some taste in music.
Aye.
We were saying last week about the radio changing music and how it, like, just as what you were saying, you would hear a song that come on the radio and you didn't know what to do with it, but now everything's everywhere and you would hear a song by Steve McCafferty on the radio and you'd be like, oh fuck, I need to buy his album. And that's how people would sell albums, because you would hear it from the radio.
And you would take a risk on an album off the back of a couple of singles.
And even if it was shit, you would just listen to those 3 songs.
You would still listen to the album, and then eventually you would learn to love it. Yeah. And there'd be album tracks that just absolutely you end up loving more than the main singles.
So that's something I think about when we play live now. So because we're all kind of early, we've not been playing the songs for that much, and there's not been exposed to people. Whereas like you hear Ed Sheeran, and he's on the radio 18 times a day. Or he's on everywhere you turn, Ed Sheeran's playing. You walk through the shops, Ed Sheeran's playing. But there's so many songs that you hear, and you hear it for the first 5 or 6 times, and you're like, I fucking hate this song. And then one time you hear it again, that like 6th or 7th time, you're like, this song's fucking banging.
Aye.
This is a really, really good song. So you wonder if the songs that we're singing, if you just need people to hear them a bit more.
I think familiarity does definitely help music. I think that's actually it taps into the whole stuff with social media as well, because you can get a bit self-conscious that you feel like you're annoying people with your music, but it's building that familiarity that you're trying to get it into their heads. It's this hook of your song, and eventually when you move on to something else, that'll leave a gap that when that song comes back around, it's going to hopefully trigger a wee neuron in the brain. It's like, that song, love it.
It is the best feeling when you're playing your stuff and you've got people, you're looking out into a crowd of people, and
they're all holding up seagulls.
Wow, that was insane. But it's the same thing. Like when people start singing your songs, and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
This was nothing to me. This at one point, this was just me rambling and doing stuff, and now people are like listening to your stuff and coming to see you and singing it back. It's the greatest feeling. I
had to catch myself at Twatams the other night, because I've been getting people to sing the wee chant bit that's in the road, and there was quite a lot of people in the Twatams, and like I put a video up of it, and you can hear me. I stopped the song too early. I was like, "Dang," like that, and that's just me trying to fucking stop myself. I got quite emotional sit here because it's quite a reflective, emotional song, and hearing people sing that back, I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna cry on stage. Fuck, right, and jump. And I was like, that's it, thank you, that was beautiful, and then move on to the next one, because I really was like, shit, I was gonna go there.
I'm quite like that. If I get emotional, like I've got to swallow it back. So if I'm singing and I've got to swallow back, I kind of like miss where I am, and it totally ruins that whole bit of the song. But it happens quite a lot, actually.
It'll be what bits would it be? Probably
Take Me Away. Depends who's there on Take Me Away. Like when my mum and dad are in the crowd for Take Me Away, like on Sunday, I saw my mum and dad, and there's a lot happened over the last few years, so they kind of know the meaning behind the song, and to see them standing there watching me up there doing it, it gets me kind of upset. Not upset, but it's a weird feeling. It's emotion. It totally takes over. It's a wash. And
that must have been such an incredible feeling, man. Like with that, then, like when you're, like the last few years of going through stuff and coming out, and now you're on a fucking main stage at a festival in effectively your local city. So it's like that must have been a huge.
It doesn't make sense really.
How did we manage that?
Yeah, I don't really know how it's happened, but
it's the people that we've met along the way.
Yeah.
Aye.
It's been a lot of help for people.
Yeah.
It's a strange feeling. Again, what we were saying earlier about like when you've struggled for something and you. Yesterday was Sunday for me was just that moment of appreciating it and sitting back, and I don't know how many times I hugged you that day. I think I hugged you about 4 or 5 times on Sunday. Just appreciating, like, Luce has helped me so much for us to get where we're at. I would never have done it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had like 3 or 4. I wrote more songs, but they'd never have been the quality they are. I mean, we wouldn't be putting them out, we wouldn't be recording them, we wouldn't do what we are. So, I mean, I appreciate fucking more than anything for what Lewis does for me. So having Lewis there that day, but even having my family there and everyone there, and my friends there, and the people that wanted to be there. It's very, when you've had the hard times, you can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You can sit there and on the grass listening to a band that you love.
Yeah.
With that are full of your mates. You can sit and listen to it with your beer with your other mates and your family, and just be like, today's a fucking good day.
Yeah.
Regardless what happens tomorrow.
Today's
I could wake up tomorrow and my foot's fell off, or you've been diagnosed with something. Like, you never know, anything can happen. So I just really appreciated it on Sunday, and I took that in, and that was a great feeling, man.
Yeah.
It was such a good feeling.
That's
But
good,
you've
man.
got to have the shit to.
I think it does definitely make the better times shine a bit brighter. Like when you've had to kind of struggle to get there.
Yeah, tell us your story.
Hmm?
Tell us your struggles.
My struggles.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think of them as struggles. I know, like,
Well, they're no struggles because they're just life.
aye, and it's like I've told you before. I think when I started putting the emails out, when I started releasing music as a solo artist again, I put in the subject line, because I used to sleep in a wheelbarrow outside a work site that I was working on because I didn't have anywhere to stay. And
How long did you do that for?
I was in that job for maybe about 3 or 4 months, but eventually they found out that I was doing that and they let me sleep in the canteen because it was like an on-site thing. So it was like groundworks, and it was people from all over the country working on this. They were building a road in Kirkcaldy, and they let me sleep in one of these porta cabin things on the kitchen floor.
I mean, you've just sat there and said, I don't see them as struggles. Anybody that's listening to this, they're going to be like, you sat in a fucking wheelbarrow.
Well, that's what I mean. But I was young, and I was like, you know what? It was like a weird.
Yeah, but I mean, these are struggles that have defined who you are, and they've came through obviously in your songs as well.
Yeah, but like so, when I was sending those emails out, because like in the band that I ended up starting once I got to Edinburgh, we were called Return to the Sun. We played the Isle of Wight Festival for 2014 and 2015.
That's fucking weird.
So the wee tagline the wee subject line that I was putting in the emails, trying to get people to listen to the solo stuff, was from wheelbarrow sleeping to Isle of Wight dreaming. And I thought, it's cheesy, it's a bit tongue in cheek, it's
That's what you need to do, though.
maybe interesting.
Yeah.
And so I got some responses from it, and when I heard those people, when I send stuff to a radio station, they read out the blurb that you've sent them and all that kind of stuff. They were all being very kind of, I hope things are better now. It's like they were being very
sympathetic.
I wasn't offering that up as something to make you feel sorry for me. I think it's just a wee, because I'm so far away from it. And we're going back to 2000 and we're going back to like 2000 and maybe 8 and 9, and
This was free.
3. So it's so far removed from where I am now, but obviously part of my story, and like it didn't really end there, because like I was obviously sofa surfing for years, and like I say, this is from about 16 to 22, and it's when I ended up moving. My pal Andy gave me a place to stay in Dundee on his sofa to begin with, and then he was as unstable or as unsettled as I was, but he was a bit more of a resourceful guy than I was, and he always was like, he's like kind of ducking and diving and always had something on the go.
Sleeping on a nicer sofa.
Oh, on a nicer sofa, aye. That had a sofa bed. But aye, so I ended up living in 3 different flats with him, and the last flat that he got was a council flat, so I think he must have been on the list, and he let me sleep in his spare room, and we're talking maybe now 2009, and he let me stay in his spare room. This is in Charleston, so it's like a council estate on the edge of Dundee, and there was the upstairs people. They used to get raided all the time for drugs. Like it was just constant. And one night, or one morning, like early morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard this kind of rhythmic movement from upstairs. Like, I heard that. I heard scratching on the floorboards, and I heard the yelping of a dog. And I thought, it sounds like the guy upstairs is fucking his dog. And I was like, I was so young and naive to think that it sounds like that, but no one actually does that. Like, it's like a...
Was the guy actually fucking his dog?
Well, let me tell you. So, so there was... I'm familiar with the concept of bestiality, but at that age, I'm thinking that's a concept reserved for comedy. Nobody in
Actually
this life is actually fucking a dog. So I kind of put it out of my mind. And a few weeks later, I don't know where I was. Must have been out somewhere. But my mate Tommy stayed in that room. And he came to me the next day, and I hadn't told anyone. He came to me the next day and said, "Stephen, I think the guy upstairs is fucking his dog."
Fuck, man.
And for us to independently come to that conclusion, I was like, the guy upstairs is definitely fucking his dog. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Did you save the dog?
Nah, I should have. Should have. But they were like drug dealers as well. It was just such a messy. It was a messy flat. They were always getting raided,
That's
man.
Insane.
So at this time, I'm maybe 21, 22, and I packed my bag. My mate Andy and Tommy dropped us off in Edinburgh. So my mate Andy, he knew the system a little bit in terms of, declaring yourself homeless and all that kind of stuff. He says, if you go to Edinburgh and you do this, they'll put you up. So that's what I did. They dropped us off in the van. They both gave me 20 quid each. Declare myself homeless. It's like an all-day application thing. Put me up in a B&B for about a week, and then I got a place up at Brunchfield homeless shelter, in a nice wee Georgian house. Huh. I was in the basement with a beautiful window view of a wall, and I was there for a year, and then I got a flat down Leith. But that was the first step in structure in my life and getting it settled.
Right. That's it. I didn't know that's how it went. I went homeless very, very briefly in West Calder, and I went to sign on as homeless, and I wasn't going to put in a B&B, put it that way. So I luckily I started staying with Anita at that point. But
I work so it's different, like compared to when I did it as well. So we're talking 2010. I came to Edinburgh. I think I got my flat in 2011, and I work as a support worker for homeless men now, and it's so different to when I did it. Bearing in mind, I was in that shelter for a year and I got quite a nice flat. I was quite selective. So there's this thing called Ed Index, and you're bidding on properties every week. And I was quite selective. I wanted to stay in nicer areas, so I was choosing places in Leith Walk and down the shore and all that kind of thing, and I ended up getting a place in Leith Walk. Now, there's so few properties for people to stay in that 11 months was how long I was in that shelter, and now you're looking 3 to 5 years on the waiting list before you get anything, and that's as a silver priority. So it's completely different now. I don't know if that had been the conditions and context of when I did it, I don't know if I could have done it for that long, because I was in quite a nice place relative to the kind of place that I work now, because I had my own room, my own bathroom, which is really important in these kind of places. It was a communal kitchen, but that was like locked after 9 and nobody ever really used it. Whereas the place I work now, it's communal living. You've got no choice of who you're living with. It's communal kitchen, communal bathroom. You've got your own room. You've got your own room, with a key, and it's like, and it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? A quick turnover, because guys end up not staying or they get kicked out or whatever, so that is a very unsettled way of living. I actually felt quite settled when I was in a homeless shelter. The guys that I support in the shelter that I work in are so unsettled, and it's like, that's, if you feel unsettled in the mind, it's like you're just constant. It's like a constant buzz that you're just like, how am I supposed to put my life together in this kind of situation? So it's a totally different ball game now to when I did it. But and this is why I was saying when I talk about it, and I don't feel like it's a struggle, because it was such a transformative period in my life. It was such it's like everything got better having made that choice.
There's a latest before, so after I'll ask this question, then we'll go into some of the live performances. Do you think does your songwriting reflect these times though? Is there a lot of stuff that comes through from that period of your life that's in your songs?
I think it has to, but I think it's all my life will come through in some way or another. Because like we've kind of touched on, don't really know what you're writing about until the song was finished a lot of the time. So there's lots of experiences, whether that's direct experiences in your life, books you've read, films you've watched, just everything that you've absorbed. All that eventually just gets distilled into like 3.5 minute pop song or whatever, you know. So those things definitely come out, and I'm quite an existential person. Like it's funny, like a lot of my stuff can sound quite sad, but I get a lot of joy out of melancholy. I just enjoy it.
A lot of people do as well, though.
Yeah,
a lot of people find comfort in someone else's pain. That's why sad songs are so.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's what it is. Like the existential stuff, I think, is definitely about that.
Yeah.
But I've got a very, like, I've always felt like anything's always, like, it's always been temporary. Like, I know this isn't forever. So anytime I've found myself in those situations, when I was sleeping in a wheelbarrow, I was like, well, this is just what I'm doing now.
Get a mattress soon.
Aye, I'm going to have a mattress or an airbed. That's how it turned out to be. The next.
It's funny. I was talking to my dad just yesterday about this. That life again. We were talking about Sunday and how good Sunday was, and just like it was like a peak of everything that's happened over the last period of time, that everyone that has been involved in that and other people that have come into it since then were all there for that moment, and it was just like there. But I'm well aware that tomorrow you can be fucking back in there.
Yeah.
It's like you say, like, you know, even when the bad times are there, that at some point, unless you die before the good times come again, there's going to be good times again. Like, things are up and down and up and down. So it's just kind of taking that part in.
Absolutely, man.
Right, so we're going to do a couple of live songs and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Lonely is the silence in need of a distraction, sleeping intimately under the thumb, seeking asylum in a fairground attraction, keeping me adequately numb. Let's keep making money, lots and lots of money, so we can sow the seeds. Become a junkie for milk and honey. How much land does a man need? Now I am digging holes in the sun, sweat dripping down my back, fencing in everything I own before the sky turns black, caught in the middle of a summer heat wave. But I know little by little the money I save will buy me a rich man's grave. Wake the sleeping giant who carries you through the night on the shoulders of a sunken dream. The desperation is quiet on the face of compliance, tripping on prescribed routine. Just keep making money, lots and lots of money. There's no time for reverie. And maybe if you're lucky, one day if it's sunny, you can get a half day for free. Now I am digging holes in the sun, sweat dripping down my back, fencing in everything I own until the sky turns black, caught in the middle of a summer heat wave. But I know little by little the money I save will buy me a rich man's grave. Every criticism is captured by the system, nullified by commodifying your cynicism. Working class masochism for techno-feudalism, sadistically indifferent to the human condition. You get what you are given, so trust the algorithm. Or softcore, Dead Sea scrolling, addiction can't escape. Escapism, pacify cataclysm. Seductive voyeurism is a sedative mechanism. Hush, now you're part of the crush, dreaming in the wake of the 20th century gold rush. Hush, now you're part of the crush, dreaming in the wake of the 20th century gold rush. It's sucking on your thumb until the nail cracks, waiting on another bubble to burst. Tongue-tied like a damsel to the rail track. You feel it but can't seem to find the words. Was I the one to break the social contract? Maybe this is what I deserve. The trail of breadcrumbs left to find our way back, scavenged by well-dressed, rapacious birds. Hush, now you're part of the crush, dreaming in the wake of the 20th century gold rush. Hush, now you're part of the crush, dreaming in the wake of the 20th century gold rush. Paranoid inside a retro void, arcades echoing childhood joy, narcotic sleep, dreamless android controlling creep, numbing white noise. Paranoid inside a retro void, arcades echoing childhood joy, narcotic sleep, dreamless android controlling creep, numbing white noise.
Thanks for that, Stephen.
No worries.
That was tremendous.
Thank you.
Aye, it was lovely.
Thanks, guys.
So what did you play for us there? Tell us about them. And
I played Milk and Honey,
first song,
which is a song that I probably wrote during lockdown, actually. I think I did record it. It was supposed to be on the first album, along with another song called Silence in a Foreign City, but I wasn't happy with either of those recordings, which is why it's a 10-track album. But it's a song that I probably haven't played a live set where that's not been in it, and I just feel like I've not got the right idea for how it should be recorded yet. But that came from, I read a short story by Leo Tolstoy called "How Much Land Does a Man Need?"
okay.
I wasn't set out to directly write that song, but that was kind of floating about my head because I had the chords and I had the melody, and it ended up kind of mirroring the themes of that short story quite a lot, which is effectively just about this farmer who isn't happy with his land because of his neighbours. He's complaining about his neighbours, and he hears that there's people, or he goes to a pub and he hears that there's people in a different town who are just giving away land for nothing. So he goes to seek these people out because he thinks it's too good to be true. And again, I've not read this story for a long time, so I'll be getting this wrong. But he finds out, they're like, yeah, we'll give you land. What we do is you can take as much land as you can mark out before the sun goes down. So you decide how much land you want. You go out, you dig holes, and you plot posts in. And he's like, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So then he goes out and he starts digging holes and he starts knocking posts in. And as he's going and he's seeing the sun come down, he's like, I could go a wee bit further. I just go a wee bit further. And he keeps doing that. until eventually he reaches a point where he starts to panic. He's like, oh God, I've gone too far, I need to get back. So he runs back as fast as he can, heart beating out his chest, and by the time the sun's come down, by the time he gets back to the post, he drops dead.
And that's where the line, "Buy me a man's grave."
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of, like I say, that it's quite resonant to where we are just now. It's about greed. It's about misplaced value.
Love it.
Aye.
It was really nice. It was nice to just hear.
It was nice to hear, and it's nice to know what's behind it as well.
Yeah, and our first performance on the podcast. So
it is.
Thank you. That was straight off the bat as well. Just no warm up or nothing.
Aye.
Straight in it. And the second song was
20th Century Gold Rush, which I touched on earlier when I was talking about Mark Fisher, because it came after a period of time where I felt I hadn't completed a lyric for a long time. Again, it's just, you'll know yourself, man, it gets quite overwhelming when you're releasing music. You've got a lot of stuff to do. You know, a lot of people, when they hear your music, they just see you as a songwriter or someone that releases music, but you've also got to be the manager, the booker, the agent, the financer, whatever. You know, you've got so many different roles, and sometimes when you've got all that going on, it's hard to kind of sit down and actually write. So that was me making an attempt to actually sit down and finish a song last year.
I've found that recently, just with being busy, that songwriting's kind of went in the back burner, and not even songwriting, like learning the new songs that we've got. When you're busy and you're doing stuff, it's difficult to find the time to sing the new stuff that you're learning.
Aye, it's a bit of and of course I'm still spending loads of time in here messing about on the keys and on the guitar. I've already started writing more chord progressions and all of that. They exist. They do exist.
So do you write music, and then is that getting put into the band, or are you building songs?
I've done a couple of so it's like bits of songs, or
we've got a song ready to come out. Is it Say It Anyway? Is that the Oasis one?
Yeah.
You call it. Lewis calls it the Oasis one.
Yeah, but it started off sounding kind of Oasis, but it ended up more Blur. So
Lewis wrote the
chords.
They wrote the chords and the songs, and then I came over and we put lyrics to it that day.
So what is it that what year were you born?
05.
So what is it that kind of sticks in the craw a little bit with Oasis for you?
I don't really have anything to do with Oasis personally.
I don't actually. You've said to me numerous times that you don't actually have an opinion. I think you just like saying things because I like them so much. He just tries to wind me up a bit, and it works every single time.
I think there's such a. I mean, they reach such a level. It's difficult to remember.
It's the same when anyone is successful. Like everyone loved Conor McGregor until he was like peak success. When he was peak success, people were like, "The guy's a dick."
Yeah, I mean, he did start doing dickish things.
I mean,
like punching old men in pubs. And
all that. I am not condoning Conor McGregor.
I was a big Conor McGregor. I loved his the cut of his jib. I loved the fact because it was very much a kind of he was embodying the ethos of what I enjoy in life. That kind of that struggle, that discipline, the stoicism in a way, and then he kind of, I think I mean, money corrupts, right? And I think that's what happened. He's just got too much money, and it fucking.
Yeah, I think you wonder how many musicians start out that become super successful, that are really humble, and then when the money starts coming in, they just turn into arseholes. It's
one of the things. You know how they say, like, you reach a point where you've got nothing left in you in terms of the creative songs you're writing. I don't think that's a time thing. I think that's a success thing and a money thing. I think you could write songs forever to the same standard that you've always done. I think
you were living in the same country.
If you're living in the same situation, I don't think it's time or age that stops you from being able to do that. I think it's
what's going on
it's
about
success.
You. Yeah.
I think if you have all the money in the world and
it's like Rocky 3.
No worries.
He's not hungry anymore. Because he's got it all. He's won all the world titles, and then Mr. T comes along and kicks his ass.
We're definitely the same age. We'll have all the same reference.
Yeah, totally.
Rocky is a go-to for me.
Oh man,
And my mate Alan as well. Alan, who plays guitar for me sometimes in the studio, he plays electric sometimes. He's a big rocky guy.
The amount of times that I've been training for something, 'cause I used to do half marathons quite a lot, and I'd sit on the couch and I'm like, I'm not going. YouTube, Rocky training montage, and I'd be like, fucking beat my personal best after it, just straight out.
Yeah.
So those songs, they're available at the moment?
No,
none of them. They're not available yet.
No.
Oh.
I should have played songs that are.
Well, no, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have, because then it just gives people
rarities.
Yeah, and you'll see them when you play live. And
aye. So I play Milk and Honey almost at every gig. As I say, it's just not. It's not. I wasn't happy with the recording, and I wasn't happy with it being released as it was. So we moved on to Buffalo. Actually,
so what song was that?
We moved on to I Am the Buffalo. Milk and Honey was supposed to come after.
Can you just say that again?
I Am the Buffalo.
I've got a plan for that.
Milk and Honey was supposed to come before that,
right?
And I wasn't happy with it, so we just went with I Am the Buffalo. I
Am the Buffalo is a great song.
Thanks, man.
It's like when you're there and you're just going, I am the buffalo, I am the buffalo, and then you bring your part back in. I find that really hard to do.
Right.
Like if even singing with people, if they're singing like a different harmony for me, it just confuses me. It's like too many junctions at a road map.
I think the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, it's the same as like picking a guitar.
But like one of my favourite things to do across all the songs is have these counter melodies going on and all that kind of stuff, and loads of
I
harmonies.
really like that about your stuff.
It's just, I love doing it, man. And I Am the Buffalo has a lot more legs than I realised. Like I liked it when I recorded it, but it's become something else since. Like people when they're messaging or even just leaving comments and that, they leave little buffaloes. I've started doing it too.
Yeah.
Because like, well, this is obviously something, and maybe I should just lean into it.
I think you've got to find your thing. Mm-hmm. And I think even when I share your stuff, I'll always share like a buffalo or whatever with it. And it's just things that people remember. Like the seagull now, I think, is your thing.
Aye, exactly.
So you just got to have that thing where people remember you by, and then you just cling on to it.
I think, and that's what I wasn't quick enough to realise that.
Yeah.
So it was when stuff started coming back to me. Like I just got a guy messaged me today on TikTok, and he left a comment on it, and it was just a case of that he came in to the Twatamas the other day when I was playing. He came in just at the start of my set, and he was like saying, "On everywhere I'm going now, I just can't stop saying I am the Buffalo, I am the Buffalo." And it's just like, as I say, man, it's become a bit of a signature, and I'm happy with that.
It's the best feeling, isn't it?
Happy to have one. Happy to have a signature, you know.
Yeah, totally. It's why you start doing it, whether you want to admit it or not. Like anybody that says they write stuff just for writing, you write it because you want people to hear it, and you want people to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you do it for your own reasons as well. But at the end of the day, when you start performing, you're not performing for the sake of performing. You're performing for the sake of performing and wanting people to go, that's fucking good.
I think you've got to find a balance as well, because you don't want to be captured by an audience where you end up giving the audience exactly what they want.
No.
They kind of want to do your thing and then maybe find a happy medium if they start resonating in a certain way. Because, I think audience capture can be a dangerous thing, and you end up doing... I think Coldplay are victims of that. Coldplay... I don't know if you're a fan, but my favourite album is actually their fourth one, but they became this whole other thing, man, where they just kind of started collaborating with Korean pop stars because they were really popular.
Yeah.
Rihanna, because she was really popular. Who's really popular now? We'll collaborate with them, and making this really kind of bubblegum pop.
I've always had a kind of weird relationship with Coldplay. Did you know, ask me last time, an overrated band?
And you said Coldplay.
Did I say Coldplay?
I believe you did.
No, did I not say Kiss?
Oh, you said Kiss.
Yeah, I think I should have said Coldplay. I mean,
yeah.
But on the same token, Coldplay have got some tremendous songs.
Well, I love that those first four albums.
They even like newer songs, because I find myself doing that. Like, I love their early stuff, and then you hear a song in the radio, like, who's that? It's like Coldplay. Oh, that's a good song. I like that one.
I don't know. I've not heard I do that. See, I have the same kind of relationship as I do with Noel Gallagher, where I am interested in what they're doing, so I'll always check in if they've done something new. But I'm always left. It's always left feeling. Ugh.
I watched them play Glastonbury. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? And I remember watching the set, and I was like, that was unbelievable.
I have no doubt they'd be amazing live.
Yeah, it was just, they had this thing where they gave, again, getting the crowd in too much. They had done Glastonbury, and I think everyone that went to Glastonbury, was it Glastonbury? Can't remember. Maybe it was. But they gave everyone wristbands that glowed.
Yeah, I've seen that actually.
It was like the coolest thing to see, but it's hard to do. But I think you're probably right. Maybe I had to sometimes do that too much. I'm always thinking about trying to get the crowd in. Whereas
I
if
think
you
that's
can
a
do
good thing, man. You want
but if
to
you can do it now and again, you
want to connect.
Yeah, but you don't want to be doing it like that's your whole thing.
But it isn't your whole thing, though.
No, maybe
It
not.
isn't your whole thing.
Thanks, Liz.
There you go.
Sometimes I need you to bring me back to
Mm-hmm.
back to reality.
I also wasn't saying it was your whole thing. I wasn't saying
No, this is what I do. This is just like
Oh,
I
you're
just
just
go into my.
is the hypochondriac.
Oh, come on, Liz. I'm not hypochondriac. I mean, I've got a bit of heartburn in it, which could be a heart attack. I'm not quite sure. Cheeky fucker.
I never tell them that I'm ill.
No.
No, unless I'm properly ill.
When was the last time you
Because-
were properly ill?
Well, it's never
The
been
same
anything
time I
more than a
was.
cold. But yeah, it's like, if I tell him that I'm ill, it's like, oh, he might be ill as well.
Well, we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Right, he'll phone me
yeah.
and I'll be like, for a while we were coming over quite regular and doing like recording stuff. Just going through the purple phase, it seems, at that time. And I phone him and he go, oh, you're not well. He go, no, I'm not feeling that well. And I'm like, come and think about it, I'm not really feeling that well. So he keeps calling me a hypochondriac, but I think I've just got a bad immune system, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Aye.
That's something a hypochondriac would say.
Yeah. Right, we'll go on to our,
Wait, we should probably. Why don't we? Well, I think for
why don't
an
we stop?
idea of
Sorry, Nick.
what was it? We could finish off the podcast with the songs, explain them before we play them, and then that would be a nice thing.
Okay, right, so we'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
Right, we'll come back to the live song. So let's take a...
I think we should do the questions.
Okay, but before we get to the questions, let's take a break for our sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a break for our sponsors. I love my new guitar.
How much did you spend on that? You know how much I want to get my lashes done.
Don't worry, love. He says I can borrow it.
Who says you can borrow it? Introducing the You Can Borrow It guy, your one-stop shop for all your equipment obtaining needs.
It's all right. I said you could borrow it.
That's okay. Have fun with your guitar, honey.
Phew.
Purchase 4 Yes You Can Borrow It guys, and you will receive a believable Christmas card from your friend who borrows you things. Available now at hidethingsfromyourwife.com and your local Walgreens. Remember to use discount code XLRtists on your next borrowing. Right, so we're going to do question round,
Sound.
where we always do a music question, so we'll ask each other from a predetermined list that we're going to have to update eventually.
Yep.
Before we start asking doublers. So we'll all ask a music question, and then you're going to pick a subject, a random subject, that we'll ask a question about that.
Okay.
Get to know each other that way.
So who wants to go first?
Go for it, Lewis.
Okay. And
This goes to both of us.
this goes to both, so you both answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Then remember, don't ask one that we've already asked, because we know.
Yeah. What venue deserves more love?
So, I can go first on that one. I would say, from where we've played,
Yeah.
the Metro and Saltcoats,
Yeah.
that was the coolest fucking venue.
Where about?
Metro and Saltcoats. It's like an old picture house type. I didn't even ken.
It was an old nightclub. It was
Yeah,
like
but the
a
stage
rave.
area, and it was so cool.
Yeah. It was like the early days of it's like the early days of raving with like live music or like
Instead of,
clubbing.
like a DJ booth and a big dance floor bit up on the stage though. It
Aye.
was so cool. But they've been trying to like have gigs there for the last couple of years. Somebody else bought it over. They've redone it and they've been trying to have stuff. They've been having like DJ nights, they've been live music nights. We played there. There's nobody there.
Such
and
a
I
shame.
think that's just kind of the norm at the moment. But I think that's just the struggles at the moment is getting
It's-
people
aye.
out to a venue
It's like nigh impossible.
that's willing to pay a tenner to get in.
Something like 2 venues a day, or even 2 pubs a day in the UK is closing.
Yeah.
It's just hard right now. I mean, for multiple reasons. Like, obviously, it's so expensive to be out.
And folk didn't have any money to spend.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's it. You go out in Edinburgh
Aye.
and you're $6.50 for a fucking pint.
Yeah.
If you and your wife, you go out in Edinburgh for a night, you're £100. Easy.
Easy, aye.
And that's just buying something to eat and a drink whilst you're eating. No going out to a pub and then going to another club to watch a band or whatever.
Aye. it's quite sad.
What venue deserves more love?
I mean, I'm thinking that I had to think of one, but the first one that came to mind is maybe not. It's maybe playing with the question a little bit, but there's a venue that no longer exists that I used to play when I first started gigging as a teenager, and it's a place called Dexter's in Dundee. And I was like, do you know those venues when you first start out, you kind of cut your teeth a little bit and you kind of learn how to do it? Dexter's became I think they're called non-zeros. I think they became, but yeah, for years and years and years, the very early bands that I was in, we play this place called Dexter's on Castle Street in Dundee, and it ended up closing down after it had become non-zeros because a restaurant moved in downstairs. So this was you went up the stairs and the venue was kind of upper floor, and a restaurant moved in, made complaints about the noise.
Standard.
Why move in
Exactly.
why move in below
That's
a venue? And I don't think the restaurant lasted.
No.
So it's like it came in for 6 months, shut down a music venue, then fucked off. And I would say that deserves retroactive love. Dexter's, it was a great venue.
Off the back of that, the venues that at one point were like this, because they're cultural almost, in villages and towns and cities, that's the place that everyone goes. The Legends just shut in Edinburgh not long ago, and everyone was up in arms about it. But do you think by the time it closes, it's just ran its course? Do you think it's just like a natural thing where if it was to reopen again, if they were to reopen this place up in Dundee,
Yeah.
if they were to open that again, would it ever be the same? Or is it just it's ran its course for that time, and that's going to be that time in your life that you look back and go, fuck, that place was great.
Yeah.
I love playing there.
It's difficult to tell. I do. There are a lot of people that get into kind of activist mode against venues closing down, but like those are faces that you never actually saw in the venue once.
Yeah,
you do see that.
Yeah.
Like I remember it when we were. I used to live down Leith Walk, and it was at the time where they were talking about knocking down those red brick houses and red brick.
Right on the water.
No, not as far as that. It's like at the bottom of Leith Walk, just before you get to Junction Street, there's a row of red brick. It's like the old train station, and
Station yards. Is it down?
I think it's there now. And
I think my dad painted what ended up being built.
But it ended up people protested for it for them to keep it. They wanted to build houses and all that, and people were like, "No, you're not doing that." And now we've got like a kind of red brick row with just like Tesco in it instead of houses. And
I know where you are now. You said Tesco.
Aye.
Exactly where you are.
Aye.
So yeah, people like to be activist over certain subjects, but actually, when it comes down to it, you're not actually contributing to keeping it.
Yeah, and exactly. If it got to the point that it was closing down because it needed support, all these people, it wouldn't be closing down if all these people were going to the venue, going and watching a band.
Yep.
Well, obviously that wasn't the case with Dexter's because it was a noise complaint, but yeah.
That's another, I don't understand that. When you move into a place that's above a pub or underneath a club or whatever, you're not moving into that place and going, oh, I hope it's quiet on a Saturday night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why these people can move into this place and then cause that much of a commotion that the place gets shut down.
Yeah.
It's mental. They should be...
And they tried, I remember them putting on fundraiser gigs and all that to try and make enough money to properly soundproof it and all that, and I think they did and everything, but it still wasn't enough. And it wasn't Dexter's at that point, it was non-zeros, but it was still a really good music venue.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. They do.
Aye.
They do. Right.
Aye.
Can I have the mouse?
Do you want the mouse? It's. I don't know if it'll go far enough down. No, it will not go far enough down.
So
that's as far as it'll go.
Right.
What I'll do is I'll move it here so I can see both the camera and this. So, do you want me to move it down a bit?
Slow down, son.
Aye.
Okay. What is the biggest "this is doomed" moment you've had whilst gigging?
Oh man, I've got one.
Good.
Although I don't think I knew it in the moment that it was doomed. But back when I was in a band called the Debutants that would eventually become Beautiful by Design, and when we were the Debutants, we were just in our late teens, early 20s, and there was a gig in Dunfermline and it was like an all-day festival thing in a venue. I don't know if it was multiple venues, but the venue we were in was called Tappy Touries. And this was at a time where we were still young, and I suppose it touches on this Oasis idea where it's like it was like that lad music where you're just getting drunk and you're not really being professional. You think that's cool, and it's not. I definitely don't think it is. Although I'm drinking right now. We're
rock stars.
We're rock stars. We spent all day. We spent all day in the Glen drinking crates. And then we turned up, we were playing about maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we turned up maybe a couple of hours before that to Tappy Touries, already quite drunk. And we said to the manager, is it okay if you got somewhere that we can rehearse, like just to get ready for the gig? And the guy was like, you can go upstairs, we've got a bar upstairs that we're not using. I was like, alright, okay, we'll go upstairs into this bar that you're not using. So we go up, and the whole room is filled with these helium balloons, like happy 60th birthday, I think it was. And we're there, we're jamming. I'll just wait till you're off.
Okay, thanks.
It's alright.
It's okay.
We'll wait till what am I saying? We'll wait till you finish sneezing. I don't know why that became part of the story there. We'll wait, and then we waited till he sneezed. So we were jamming, and then eventually we got curious and we're opening the fridge doors, and we noticed the beer was out of date, and we're like, well, they're not going to sell this, so let's just drink it. So I started drinking the stuff in this upstairs bar, out of date beer, and then one thing led to another, and people.
Did you go to Lewis's and get the shits the next day?
Oh no, I probably did. I don't remember. But
probably.
Some of us, I can't remember if I was one of them, started sucking the helium balloons, which is really shitty because it was a guy's 60th birthday, and we were like just
these flashing balloons all over the place,
putting on funny voices, and I remember the manager coming up to say it was time for us to go on stage, and the look of disappointment that he had. Has never left me, because it was just, I felt it. I was like, we are absolute arseholes, proper arseholes. And then we went on stage, and we're absolutely hammered. And
it does not make you better, eh?
No.
Nah.
We played one song, 2 songs, started the third song 3 times. And that's it. It's at that point, and the manager's like, you just get off, you just get out of here. It's quite a busy pub, quite a small pub, so it's quite busy, or it feels busy. Someone threw a pint glass at the stage, and our drummer put his hand up, and if he hadn't put his hand up, it would have smacked our mate Dave right in the face. Oh, aye. This guy with a teardrop tattoo, which I later found out meant he had killed someone, picks me up to throw me out, and somebody else, one of them's got me by the feet, one of them's got me by the hands, and this is at a time when I was quite androgynous, and in my late teens, early 20s, I was like wearing makeup and women's clothes and stuff like that.
Really?
So I'm getting hauled out, and then I
Why did it take almost 2 hours to get to that point in the story?
I asked him. It wasn't full on like cross dressing or anything like that, but it was like, kind of like like in the 2000s where there was a lot of guy liner and all that kind of stuff. It was that stuff, it's like. That's what it wasn't like fucking overboard with dresses or anything like that, but so then I said, look, I need to get back in because you've got my guitar, so let me in. Then I start playing songs and making up songs and mocking them as I'm running out of the pub and all that kind of stuff. So at one point I must have thought that this is doomed.
Yeah.
this is not
going.
This is not going well. I can't remember what point that was at though, but they're funny stories to look back on. Proper arsehole behaviour. Like it's just so shitty to be acting like that. I mean, but we were teenagers, and we didn't think that was the problem, and we don't. When you're young, you don't have an understanding of. I mean, you're young, and you don't seem like you would do that. So I shouldn't put all the blame on our youth. We're also arseholes. But
I was a bit of an arsehole as a youth,
but it's just the lack of foresight, the lack of consequence. We just didn't have it, and we're all really a bad influence on each other. So it just was all a cocktail for shite, and that was a doomed gig, absolutely.
I think I'm much happier that I got into playing music when I was sober.
Yeah,
because I didn't drink when I started playing music. I was going and I wasn't even drunk or high. I wouldn't even have like a smoke a joint or anything before. Whereas now I'll have a beer or whatever. But I don't like getting drunk.
Yeah.
I don't like playing high.
I don't drink at all now before I go on because I fucked up a couple of weeks ago and I'd only had 2 pints before I went and played on in Glasgow, and it just fucked my memory for being able to remember lyrics, and it was just had such a shite moment.
It gives you like
I forgot I Am the Buffalo. I forgot the lyrics for I Am the Buffalo. It's like I fucking know that like the back of my hand. If I'm forgetting it after 2 pints, and I'm not drinking at all.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
There's nothing worse than getting up there full of bravado and then realising that you don't know your name.
Oh mate, that was the thing as well. So see, after the set, I got to the end and I was like, right, everybody come forward for Eye on the Buffalo. I started it, fucking got the first verse. I just says, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the lyrics. And some guy goes, do you want us to step back again? I was like, I should have said that. So it was, I was like, that was the moment. It's like I can't be drinking, because it's not even a case that I'm all over the place because it's just 2 pints, but it was my memory.
Yeah, it just zaps the brain.
It zaps the memory.
Yeah, I mean, my memory's bad enough. I've got lyrics taped onto the top of my guitar.
Aye.
For one of my songs.
Aye. But then, so you were off it for a wee bit, and that didn't seem to help. So I think it's just the way your brain works.
Yeah, I think my brain's just had too much going on in its life.
Aye.
It's like I can't remember everything.
So I've not. I think I do have an idea of this gig is doomed moment, but I wasn't playing. I was doing the sound. And it was the first gig I ever did sound for, the first act I ever did sound for.
Well, I'm interested.
It was at the farm.
Yeah, I know.
It was at the farm.
I remember who you're talking about.
It was quite simple. It was a keyboardist and a vocalist.
That one, yeah.
This is not like interesting or anything. But
Well, I mean, it kind of is.
It kind of is. The keyboard player unplugged the keyboard halfway through the set.
But the more interesting part of this is, like, Lewis was 18 at the time, 17?
18.
Just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
And been given the task of sound engineering for 10 bands in one day with a shitty PA. And this was the first day that we ever worked together, and maybe the first day we met.
It was the day before that was the first day that we met.
The first day before we met each other, and I remember hearing that Lewis was doing the sound. I'm like, fucking hell, Lewis. This boy's like super young. He's going to crash out and just like freak the fuck out. And then first band that went on, and everybody's like, what's going on with the sound? What's going on with the sound? And Lewis like, strange. Then the next thing it was back on, but whilst that was happening, I'm watching him going, he's going to lose it. He's just going to fucking have a hissy fit, and then we're going to have no sound for the rest of the day because nobody knows what to do. Right, you done it.
Just remain composed.
It was not doomed.
Aye. Luckily that was actually what she had done. She just unplugged the keyboard.
Yeah.
Plugged it in, and then it started working again.
One of the funny things that I saw, again, you know, it's the guy I mentioned earlier on, Stephen Rowley, the very good guitarist. He was in a band. I can't remember what they were called at that time, but it was a band that I was watching, and their singer, he had like a Justin Timberlake vibe. He was wearing the kind of Justin Timberlake type clothes, and he was playing in I can't remember the name of the pub. It's in Kirkcaldy. But he did this rock star thing where he kind of kicked the mic stand, but there was no stage, and it was just one of those slidey floors, and the stand didn't fall over, and it just slid right across the bar and knocked into these old women. And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry!" And it just completely undercut the rock star idea of breaking instruments or breaking stuff, and it's so funny. It wasn't doomed. The gig went on, but it was a funny thing to see.
Sometimes I think because I'm so old. And like we're very easy. Like, we go to a gig and we'll turn up in the sound guy like, what do you need? Like, okay, just a DI box, and that's it. Then somebody else goes on, or the younger band's going, and they're a bit more chaotic.
Aye. I think
sometimes
it's just
we are more chaotic.
Aye, I just know what I'm doing though. Aye. It's a bit of a shame that I know what I'm doing.
The amount of times
I can't figure out I can't learn what I'm doing again because I already know what I'm doing.
Now you've got most of it sussed before we even go in.
Aye.
We'll go in, the sound guy will come up to me because obviously you're the front man of the band. They think that you know everything that goes on. What's everybody set up? I'm like, Lewis! Lewis! Lewis comes in, okay, we need this, we need that, we need this.
Aye.
Invaluable, Lewis. Right, one more question.
See, before you ask that question, it's me to ask, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I go for a pee?
Aye.
Somewhere.
Fuck's
Aye.
sake.
I'll pause it.
Thanks.
We'll come back, everybody.
Sorry.
So we're back from our small intermission there.
How was your pee?
It was very good.
Good.
I passed a double bass on the way. It's
Aye.
nice. It made the pee more bassy. I didn't pee on your bass. I'm sorry.
Thanks. It has a pickup.
That was me.
Anyway.
Right, musical question. Stephen McCafferty.
Okay, I would like to ask, if you could ban one music trend forever, what is it?
I know exactly what I would ban.
Go for it, because I'm going to have to think about this one.
Ridiculously breathy pop vocals. Female pop vocals they're just like singing like this the whole time. And it's really annoying. Because it's like, unless you're listening to it on really good speakers, all you hear is the breathiness. It just
It's
annoys
weirdly
me.
impressive as well, because obviously breathing is such a large part of singing
Yeah.
that you need to be able to give yourself enough air or enough oxygen to reach certain notes. So
Aye. And it's
if
also
you're wasting so much breath by doing that. You're wasting so much of what's going to give your
I'm sure it's
ability.
good. I'm
it's
sure it's good for your
processing.
vocals, though.
It's
like,
processing though. It's like it's
vocals is good for your vocals.
it's the effects and like the mixing and all of that's like the multi-band compression going into the stuff that they put onto it that makes it is more breathy than when they sing it. You know, when they're actually doing the recording take, it's like they add more breathiness on top of it when it really doesn't need it as
They
well.
add more breath?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the telltale signs of AI as well now? Like it's
think-
got a bit airy. It's airy sounds.
Yeah, it's kind of
AI
wobbly.
music.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, nah, I just don't like AI music or AI lyrics just because they're cheesy and
I had so, I mean, it doesn't matter. Probably not listening to this anyway. A guy asked me to sing on a song with him. Cool guy. Still speak to him now and again. But he'd sent me this song. And he says, I can't sing, but I need someone to sing the song. I can do the music and whatever, I just need the lyrics, the singing. Ah, cool, no bother, I'll do it. So I was singing away at it, and I can't remember whether it was a verse or a chorus, but I remember the text, and I was like, it's a cool song. I said, but the verse is shite. Chorus is really good, but the verse is shite. He went, well, I wrote the verse, it was AI that wrote that bit. So I really like the AI bit, which I hate now because I hate AI music. I think it's no place in music. It's no music. It's music, but it's no music.
I fucking don't like it at all. Since you're mentioning someone,
This is what trend should stop.
oh yeah, of
oh
course.
yeah,
AI music.
AI music.
Oh yeah,
That's my
AI
answer.
music. Okay,
That's
aye.
my answer.
Since you're confident that no one's going to listen to this, I'll also throw someone under the bus
Yeah,
as well.
fuck them.
Although I'll not
I
say,
love you, really, man.
I'll not say who it was, but so obviously I just did that Scotland trending thing at the weekend, and there was one artist on that, and the same artist that I was mentioning who just fucked off and turned up late for his set. He put out a song, maybe a week or so before Scotland trending, and it was so evidently fucking AI.
Yeah.
Like probably wrote it, but then got AI to do everything else, and I was just like, and it's just I've got no interest in it. Like I've got no interest in what you're going to do now because you've lost trust.
Yeah.
If you're using that for whatever, and it's not like AI doesn't have any use at all, but when it comes to the creative pursuit, then it's not for me. One of the interesting things about it, like the guy I record with, Gary Boyle at Slate Room, he does a lot of film work. So he's worked on movies like Brave. He worked on that recent TV series that was made by the same people that made Breaking Bad. Was it called
Vince Gilligan?
No, it was Vince. But him. He met him and stuff like that. But it's his recent show. It's called Pluribus or something.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
So he works as a recordist on movies and stuff like that, and he showed me something when we were in the studio together that I thought was really interesting in terms of AI. It was just basically, it was an ability to create an environment that people are speaking in to exactly what you need, so they can cut out. So say for example, you know, if you're recording yourself at a gig, and there's people chatting through songs, and it's just ruins the video a little bit. AI can get rid
Pick
of
that out.
get rid of everything and just keep the performance and bring in the audience when required, like the clapping and all that kind of stuff. So it has a use in that sense, and they use it a lot in film for that sort of thing to like make sure the room isn't sounding metallic-y and all that kind of stuff. It's not doesn't have to be a treated room.
It's more like kind of treatment AI with like treatment rather than generative.
Yeah.
So like it's things. It's things like fixing like artifacts. It's quite good at doing that, but it's a different kind of AI. Like saying it like that, neural networks. All of that is not. It's not actually smart at all.
No.
It's just a tool.
Everything, doesn't it?
It's just kind of like the generative AI. It just kind of tries to. It tries to map things to other things.
But that's what's going to be scary about the future, because you've got all these legacy artists who are selling their likeness to these companies and whole back catalogue, and it's like going to be this oppressive. So Mark Fisher that I was mentioning earlier on, he's got this idea that, or had this idea, he ended up committing suicide, but you know, he was anyway, he had this idea that we are living in a time where we're nostalgic for a future that never arrived. So back in the 90s and before then as well, there was quite an optimistic view of the future, that everything was going to get better, and social rights were going to get better, just everything was going to improve, and that was projected through culture that was going to be the case. So now that we're in that future and that didn't arrive, we feel nostalgia for something that never actually was.
Yeah.
And the 21st century is just the 20th century but on better devices to watch it, because there's this oppressive nature of the past that we can't escape. So it's like,
just makes me think of Dream. Things can only get better. Tony Blair and that.
Brian Cox on the piano. And I think that's what's going to be happening with these legacy artists who are selling their likeness. It's like, we're never going to escape the Beatles. We're never going to escape these iconic and legacy bands, because they're always. It's like in the 20th century, and this is why it's a bit of an anomaly. You were talking earlier on about people didn't make money from music before the 20th century, really, and if they did, it was through sheet music or performance, and very rare.
Money now.
Well, this is why the 20th century is an anomaly, because it's like all the money that was ever to be made through music happened in the 20th century, and because like one of the interesting things that I came across was letters between Mozart and his dad, and we all know Mozart is this almost mythological, iconic person from history.
He was only 32 when he died.
Yeah, but he was a child prodigy. But he was writing letters to and from right back and forth between him and his dad, complaining because he was a child prodigy. He was going around all these aristocratic houses playing for the elite, but they kept trying to pay him in food, and they kept trying to pay him in alcohol, and he's writing back to his dad. I'm typing there. He wasn't typing. He was writing with his wee scroll. His quill. He was writing to his dad. They keep trying to pay me in food and alcohol. And how funny is that? Because as musicians and bands, we all know that's the case, and they would rather pay us in alcohol than pay us in money. And that's Mozart, one of the most iconic people of all time, complaining about the same thing that every artist has ever complained about. But then you've got the 20th century, where you've got the invention of recorded music that can be bought and sold, and all of a sudden people from the midway point of the 20th century, maybe just a bit before, until the end of it, are making the most money that any musician has ever made, ever. And now they've pulled the ladder up behind them, because we've got these legacy artists who are selling their likeness to AI companies, who are just going to keep raking in their estates are just going to keep raking in that money, all the while people that are trying to do something new are having to work multiple jobs to keep it afloat.
Fast forward 30 years, your first album went fucking double platinum, second album's done the same, and your third album's the same. Somebody comes to you and goes, here's 200 million, can we buy you?
Absolutely.
There we go.
But that's not. It's not. It shouldn't be left up to the individual. There should be structures and infrastructure put in place that stops. I mean, we have it in business for monopolisation. You're not going, although it doesn't always come into being. But like companies aren't allowed to monopolise, and there should be legislation and structures put in place that stops the individual greed from allowing. Because I mean, of course, I mean, offer me 200 million or whatever it is to sell my likeness. Yes, please. But actually I can't, because there's rules in place that disallows it, like the rules against companies monopolising. So it shouldn't be left to the individual, and that's the problem with our culture, and obviously off the back of the 80s and all that.
And it's not just that. Like thinking about like record companies, there are only 3 record companies. It's Sony, Universal, and who's the other one again?
IBM? Am I thinking of something else?
No, that's computer. That's all computers.
I'm thinking of somebody.
Did you say Sony, Universal,
and someone else? Is it Warner?
Yeah, Warner.
Yeah. So it's just those, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, and every record company that you can think of that all of these artists released under, it's like HMV. It's like this, like, is it EMG? Stuff like that. All of the record companies except I think Apple. With the Beatles, all of them are owned by one of those 3 now. That's it. You've only got that's
and then you look at live music with
Ticketmaster
and Live Nation. They're all the same, and that's where we're talking. Like we're saying that you shouldn't be allowed to monopolise, and yet these companies have, and they've introduced these things like dynamic pricing, which my partner told me the other day. I didn't even know that they're introducing that into some supermarkets. Dynamic pricing.
Yeah, you know what they've just done along most. Oh, I know that there's in the local cooperative along there. They've actually you can tell that they're about to do it. They've went and changed all of their price tags on the like on the bars underneath where the products are on the shelves to LCD displays or rather e-ink displays like it's on a Kindle, so they can dynamically change what the price is throughout the day. It's ridiculous.
It's disgusting, and
it's terrifying.
And you've got these companies that like have been for the last 5 years boasting about record profits, all the while charging everybody like through the nose for. I mean, how many times have you gone into the supermarket recently in the last few years, and you're like, I'm sure that like for me it's chicken. I buy chicken all the time, and it's like I used to be able to buy 4 good sized.
You say really cheap chicken.
Yeah. And it's like I used to be able to buy 4 good cheap. 4 good chicken breasts, and I was paying like £3.50 for that. I remember, and now I'm up to. It's double the price. It's like close to £7, and I'm not even getting 4. I'm getting 3.
Aye.
We live in a fucked up world
chickens.
when it comes to shit like that, because you can go into the supermarket and you can come out after spending £30, and you can live for a week on shite. But if you spend £30 on good food to make you healthy, you've got half a day of food. But
that was what it used to be like. Now you can't even spend £30 on rubbish and live. It's like a bar of dairy milk, £3 or something like that. So it's ridiculous.
I've got into, or at least I don't do it as often as I should, but I'm doing it much more than I used to. But it's like kind of making big pots and stuff like that. So I make chili all the time.
I love it, man. I
Meal
love
prep.
making a pot of chili. I love it.
It lasts. It can last 5 days.
Yeah.
Aye.
It gets better as well.
Aye.
As the week goes on, it gets better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aye. It's just a
because it
shame.
congeals as the week goes on as well. You can have it in different ways, like in a wrap or something like that.
Aye.
I'm getting hungry.
Oh, you're making us all
I had chili
hungry.
today before I came actually.
Did you?
Oh,
Had it on
mouse.
had it on toast and then put melted cheese on the top. So I toasted it melted cheese that went into the chili. It was glorious. It was glorious.
Everyone that's listening just now is just hearing right Homer Simpson noises.
Aye. So
Right, let's do a quick round of subject matter picked by Steve McCafferty.
Ancient history.
Right.
ancient history.
Into our randomised question generator.
Okay. So who's going? Am I going first again?
Right.
So. I think that one might be. So, what historical mystery would you most like solved?
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Area 51.
Area 51. That's not really historical though. That's not ancient history.
No, it's like 80 years ago.
That's not ancient history.
It's fucking before,
Yeah, that's true.
that's before me.
Yes, aye. Well, I suppose
All right,
the last
same
Thursday.
subject then.
Yeah.
I want to figure out why there's pictures of UFOs on old pictures.
Okay. Fair enough.
There we go. Same subject though.
Nothing about the Greeks. Nothing about why Pythagoras was so weird. Why he was so obsessed with the fact that all numbers must be able to be represented as fractions. That the guy that discovered that the square root of 2 was irrational. Why he chucked him off a boat and drowned him.
Yeah, I am.
Do you know why he was a vegetarian as well?
I can't mind why that.
He believed that. He believed in reincarnation, but he believed that your ancestors were born into animals. So it wasn't like kind of.
So he just doesn't know what to eat.
It wasn't ethical. It was more so. I don't want to eat former.
I don't want to eat my aunt.
Never actually thought that, and I sometimes think is reincarnation real, and I've never thought like your mum could be a goat.
Aye.
Like, Jack.
Your mum's
Jack.
Your mum's a goat hen.
Cut that off. I'm gonna eat that. Aye. Okay, I'll go with your one then. I want to know why Pythagoras done all that stuff.
Aye. Okay, so what mystery would you like solved?
So I've got two. I'm really into Göbekli Tepe.
Oh, that place in Turkey.
Yeah, I like
The
so.
one that everyone keeps mispronouncing is Göbekli Tepe.
Everybody thought that So this has been dated to about 12,000 years ago.
That was when it was buried, though, wasn't it?
Buried purposely so, and people didn't think that civilization as we know it, like communities that stayed in place, didn't happen until like 6,000 years ago, and this predates that almost double at the time. And it's these huge, gigantic monoliths that have been found and dated to a time where the conventional line of history was they were hunter-gatherers, and hunter-gatherers don't stay in any one place because they need to keep moving with the...
So they get eaten by a polar bear.
Not in Göbekli Tepe, not in Turkey. There's no polar bears there.
Well, he's summer. The brown bear.
The brown bear. So that's really interesting to me. The pyramids is interesting to me, but the other one would be more closer to home, Nessa Brodgar, which is up in the Orkney Islands. I don't know.
Never heard of that.
Right, so Nessa Brodgar was kind of accidentally discovered after a storm blew the tops off of the land, maybe early 1900s, I think. And it revealed this kind of settlement that they had no idea that it existed, and it was all perfectly preserved. And on this land, so what the way I've heard it being described is all stone, Neolithic, so New Stone Age, all innovations that have been found throughout the United Kingdom. So before Stonehenge and all that, all of it can be traced back to the Nessa Brodgar. And one of the really interesting things about the Nessa Brodgar is like that it was clear that people were coming from all over. Like this was a central hub for the prehistoric people to gather and celebrate and whatever. And they found loads of cattle bone in the ground that would suggest that it could have fed up to 10,000 people. And then the very next day they burnt the whole thing to the ground and left. And it's like, but there was an idea that captured this people for 1,000 years, and then they decided he wasn't even going to fuck it. It was like same with the Göbekli Tepe. It was like purposely buried, so it's almost like ceremonial. So it's like it suggests that there was a people that decided, now it's time to, burn it to the ground and start again, and because that predates everything, we have nothing to say.
It's not like Carthage. How we know how Carthage was destroyed.
Yeah.
It was destroyed on purpose by those pesky Romans.
And I mean, you don't really know what's happened any time, because every time a superpower gets taken over, someone burns the history books and then someone rewrites it.
Well, I find that's why, because it's purely because of the mystery that I find history so interesting and ancient history. Like, see the oldest musical instrument that's ever been discovered is a bone flute that's about 40,000 years old. That predates written language. I mean, written language didn't happen until 6,000 years ago, and the very first thing that was ever in written language is admin. It was like it was exchange for like, I give you this goats and you give me this, and this is where we're going to keep note of that.
Oh, that's my favourite piece of ancient history is definitely Ea Nasir and his subpar copper.
I don't know this.
He was a Sumerian copper merchant, and it's the first recorded instance of a customer complaint. So there's this guy. He sent a letter. It was a clay tablet. He sent to him complaining about his substandard copper and that he wouldn't be paying him. And this was in like ancient. It was in like ancient Sumeria, near the same, like around the same time of Abraham.
Right.
So that's
what you get. You think when it comes to written language, because of all the poetry and all the literature that's ever been written, you just assume that the very first thing to ever be written was going to be something epic, but in fact, it's just admin.
Yeah.
Aye.
It's like you owe me this.
Yeah.
Fucking pay me.
Aye. Or I'll come and chuck this thing at you.
But that's what's so fascinating about music, like it predates it by, in art as well. This stuff predates everything, and as like anatomically similar to you and I, that goes back as far as I think the earliest is now around about 300 to 400,000 years. What the fuck has happened in all that time? We only have a history really for about 12,000 years.
Yeah, but like anything decent was in the last 100. Well, music wise.
Aye, but I suppose it depends, because all the... anyway.
Fucking, I'm really wheezy. Do you think that songs that are out now will last forever?
Well, a couple of them definitely will, because they were sent into space. As in, like, literally they will last.
Yeah.
They will last near enough forever. So just on a big disc.
It's difficult to tell because, like, you never know what culture is resonating with young people, and it's those people that are going to remember it. It's like we like back when we were young, we were part of, and I think this is why all that music was so. It feels so big still because it was part of this monoculture where we're all consuming the same stuff. Like we're all watching the same TV shows. Like when I was a kid. And before I went to school, like the next day, never mind the buzz cultures on BBC Two. Shooting Stars.
Yeah.
It was like a night of all this too, and Still Game and Chewing the Fat, and you'd talk about it at school the next day. And I think that's the same for music. Like, an example for me would be, Mr. Beast had already become the biggest YouTuber of all time before I knew who he was. I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we right now, rather than the monoculture, it's like these little bubbles. I say little, but
450 million
bubbles
subscribers.
of culture.
Oh, yeah.
The last time I looked, I don't even know.
Into each other. It's like, and
Aye.
so it's who knows what's going to last, and it's difficult to say if anything's going to last like the stuff from the 20th century.
The scary thing is with AI that they'll even take away the AI part. People aren't learning like they did.
No.
People, even in university, like when I was in uni, like 2 years ago, studying engineering, people were cheating and using ChatGPT to do the equations. It's like, getting our 10, 15 years, everyone that's learning doesn't actually know how to do it.
It's just that movie. It's like Brondo. He's got electrolytes. You know that? It was
Incracity, no.
Something like that, you know.
Incracity,
Idiocracy.
It's got It's got
that guy in it.
He's got a famous brother as well, Owen Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson.
Aye.
It feels like it's heading that way.
And I think it's not just a case of the fact that we're using things
I've not got
like
a fucking clue what movies at all.
It's just a guy who wakes, is in the future, and everyone's incredibly stupid.
No.
I don't think we're giving ourselves time to think either, because we're constantly
everything's like TikTok,
we're wanting to be distracted.
Yeah,
we're wanting to be distracted
rapid,
all the time, and I think it's good to get yourself away from stuff and like Like I've been trying to go for more walks, and I don't listen to anything. I just walk and just think, and I think that's one of the things with music as well. And I've often compared playing guitar and writing songs to this kind of meditative state, because like, I don't know if you've tried meditation, but if you're doing like if you're doing mindful meditation, you're trying to concentrate on nothing but your breath.
Yeah. And then you're running all about the supermarket.
And then you're Then
you're at the supermarket in your head, and you're thinking what you need to go in the shopping.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you're trying to concentrate on the breath, and you realise how hard it is to concentrate on one thing, and these thoughts start bubbling out of nowhere, and you start thinking about things that you've not thought about forever. And I think that's what music's like. So if you're playing 4 chords, those 4 chords are like your mantra.
Yeah.
And then you start humming, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about things, and then that's how the song starts to form. And I'm glad I have music for that reason, because I'm really bad sometimes at distracting myself, and music doesn't distract me because I'm concentrating and I'm thinking, and these things are bubbling up from my past, and I'm able to then put it into a song. And I think nowadays it's constantly like nobody knows the importance of being bored.
Yeah, that's fucking so many song lyrics, song titles that's come out today, and it's like, we listen back to this and write them all down.
Aye.
Album number 3.
Aye. I haven't even written a song to yet, Jack.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I was jumping the gun a wee bit there.
What?
I was jumping the gun a bit there.
Aye.
Maybe album 2, half of the second album.
Aye. So.
Right, my question.
Aye.
Right, stop jumping down them.
So what bit of ancient history? General.
I saw one actually that I quite liked. If you could witness one moment in, I'm going to say history, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I could go
history could
really.
Be yesterday.
I don't know. Well, I could go really basic and do the like proper history nerd, or rather basic history nerd, and go 1453, the fall of Constantinople. But that's boring.
Why is it
so
boring? Why would you want to see that?
I don't know, because it's the fall of the Roman Empire, the fall of the last part of it anyway.
I mean, it's the most unboring thing ever.
But that's just basic.
There's all the damage was done by
that's
that
not
point.
Basic.
Though,
basic for who? Basic for people that actually know stuff about history. Or,
yeah.
Like, cause general public, that's I think.
Yeah, I don't even know what Constantinople was. Is that not a song?
Yeah, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. It's
Istanbul.
Yes,
Constantinople. Dum 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 dum.
It's been a long time going Constantinople.
Heard that,
You need to get onto it. They might be giants.
Oh, I've had friends that love that band.
Aye, I like a couple of their songs. Aye. So I can't think of anything.
So is this you can be a witness to something? Is that what you're asking?
Aye. If I could, I don't know. If I could change something, I would go really, really silly. If I could witness it and then change it, I would be just go the complete opposite direction. 1966, and I'd go in. What was it? You know, was it the trains?
Knock England at the World Cup.
No, well, same year actually. No, but I would just talk Mr. Beeching out of cutting all the trains.
Oh, yeah, those like trains.
Yeah, well, there used to be a train station like a minute that way, and he got rid of it.
That's kind of made it difficult for places like this.
Aye, no, that's what killed bits like this, because it's like there used to be like 50 folk in the local primary school, and now there's like, well, no, it was actually more than that. It was like 60 folk, and there were only for the first couple of years of primary school, and now there's like 20, and it's all the years.
There was a train that went through Leslie. It was way before my time, but it was like there's this big viaduct that leads into Glenoffice, and it was an old train bridge.
Aye,
and
it's gone.
These places have just kind of been forgotten.
Aye.
What would you witness?
I mean, it would have to be something like, how many days do I get to witness it?
Whatever you need, man.
This
is your vision.
I'd like to be present for a week, watching that cave that Jesus got put into, just to see.
Just to find out.
Like, you're a liar. You've got a brother. You've got a twin. It's like I just
Brian.
I'd just be fucking peeking over the mould. Is it? Aye, I see what you're doing.
Still in there.
That's not a boulder. That's a bit of plywood.
That's what I would want to witness. Something. Because I mean, that's dominated all of Western culture for the
So,
last 2,000 years.
what if it's not even true and you go back all that time and you're just like looking at a cave? There's nobody in it.
At least you'd feel slightly better about yourself.
Somebody's not wrote about it yet.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would feel like I might have gone to the wrong cave if nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I feel like surely something happened.
Aye.
Have you ever, talking of just...
I mean, this is why I'm saying I want to be there for the week, because I'd like to see the crucifixion.
Yeah, alright, see it all.
I like to see it all. I follow
It's
it.
really good parts.
I follow it. Aye. You know, Aerosmith reminds me of the crucifixion, because when I was at school, we did at primary school, we did a kind of show where it was like it must have been at Easter time, and we were doing the whole kind of crucifixion and all that, and somebody carrying a cross and everything. And the teacher was like, has anyone got any music that would fit this dramatic music? And my mate Gary, who actually a drummer, and brought in the CD that was the Armageddon soundtrack. So I had I don't want to miss a thing on it. Jesus didn't get crucified to that. He got crucified to the more like kind of epic soundtracky stuff. And
I wonder
but again, like we were talking earlier on, where things are intimately connected on a playlist or on a track list.
Yeah.
It's like straight after that.
That's the next song, yeah.
I could stay awake.
Oh, I wonder what they're doing in the primary schools and all that just now.
Not that.
Aye, it's like we had to. It's like, even though I'm only 20, we had to do the Lord's Prayer every lunch. Mental.
I remember a play I done in like primary 3.
It was weird. Why the Lord's Prayer? Surely it would be grace, but no, it was the Lord's Prayer.
I don't know. We sang in this play. Working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine, whoop, don't want to sleep that. And I still remember it.
Yeah.
I've not heard that song, I don't even know if it's a real song. But I still remember it from like singing it in that play when I was fucking 7-year-old.
You know, all those very, very cheesy, songs that we had to sing in primary school, they're all on YouTube.
Yeah.
I could go and listen to them all if I wanted to. I don't want to.
Our school was alright in terms of that stuff, because like we had I'm sure most schools have this, but we had a teacher who could play piano. She could play piano a little bit, probably.
Most teachers play piano. I think it was part of the job description.
Yeah. Oh, my earliest...
There's no music tuition. There's no music in the curriculum now.
No?
No.
It's fucking sad.
It really is.
My earliest introduction to the song Yesterday was through that. And we used to do songs like on Tuesdays or something. We'd all get into the assembly and we sing these songs. And I remember it as clear as day, thinking, wow, what a song. It's like, Why She Had to Go part. That melody, man, just fucking hit me. And I was like, oh my God, that's a song and a half. I loved it. And it was one of the earliest introductions to the Beatles.
Right.
We had the Beatles records in the house, but I don't think I listened to them, because I have such a distinct memory of that. And then the first time I heard Eleanor Rigby was in high school, and we were listening to that.
So talking about the Beatles, do you remember they brought out the Greatest Hits album, and it was a red album with the one on it? Maybe that was an old album, but they redone it, they remastered it.
I think that's the one that we had in the house. It was like 1964 to 1962 to 1964.
Possibly, I can't, but it had all the good songs, like their best songs in it. And I remember listening to it as a teenager and like falling in love with the album, and I listened to it religiously. I listened to it like all the time. But that was in the fucking 2000s.
Yeah.
Imagine listening to that in the 60s.
One of the things with the Beatles for me, I've always felt that the songs, certainly the early ones, would benefit from modern production.
Yeah.
But like by the time in like the mid 60s, once like, was it George Martin? Mm-hmm. It's like once he hit them, it's like, geez, some of the productions on some of their songs are incredible. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to get away with some of the stuff that they did now.
What's the one that you like?
What is it? Strawberry Fields Forever.
So they slowed. Is that the one they slowed down?
Yeah, they had to. They did 21-ish takes of the entire song, recording it all, and they picked what was it? I think number 21 and like take 7 for the intro or something like that. It was, but of course they recorded them at different pitches and different speeds, but they just happened to match up. But it's like how they were able to do that with the technology of the time, with like the reel-to-reel tape machines, and it's like they never had Well, it's like difficult to comprehend with all this modern technology stuff.
It's one of the
that's
reasons
through
they
there.
stopped playing live, isn't it? Because they couldn't recreate what they were doing in the studio. It was too experimental for what they could recreate live. Did you watch the Get Back documentary, the one that was repurposed or
No.
not repurposed, remastered and recoloured and all that kind of stuff? It was done by who's the Lord of the Rings director?
What the guy? I can see it. I can see Peter Jackson.
Yeah. He did a World War One or two documentary where he restored all the old footage and it looked amazing. And then he got on board with doing
Remastering,
restoring and remastering the Get Back documentary by the Beatles. And oh my God, it's incredible. And it's like 8 hours long, and you just feel like you're hanging out with the guys.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not. You heard of it?
Huh?
Oh man, you should give it a go. It was on Disney. I don't know if it's still on there now. It might be somewhere else. It was on Disney. I think Disney were the ones that funded it actually. And genuinely, it's brilliant. You just feel like you see them as real people because the restoration is amazing, and it's just like hanging out with the Beatles in the studio whilst they record that. And it's such a fraction of time because there's kind of subtle or passive conflict between the members. Paul McCartney's trying to keep the thing together, and George Harrison's been a hissy fit cunt.
I know, because his wife was getting pumped by everybody in the music industry at the time.
Aye, but he was also this is the thing when people look at the Beatles. Like, a lot of people say George Harrison's their favourite and all that kind of stuff, but they're all arseholes except Paul McCartney. He's had a resurgence. He was always the nice one, and I just feel like everyone else did.
Yeah, I think.
Except for John, I shouldn't say that because like Ringo seems to be a fucking stand-up guy.
John Lennon was a fucking prima donna knob as well for this sound of it.
And he was the man that proved that love is not only blind but it is deaf too. It's the fact that when they were doing that thing with I can't remember who it was that they were doing it with. Was it James Brown? Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he's watching that. Was it not Chuck Berry?
Chuck Berry.
No, I don't think it's Chuck Berry either.
But I'm sure it's something like that.
I'm sure
but they're
it's Chuck
playing
Berry,
it.
and he's like,
They're playing it. He's looking at that.
He's just looking at it like,
and
what
the
the
sound
fuck?
engineer mutes her mic.
or is it Ronnie Wood?
I
It's
can't
somebody.
mind.
It's
But somebody.
somebody.
It's like it's a gig that she's playing. She steals a microphone and starts screaming into it.
She's
And
like,
then-
you know what it's like? It's like, what did the fox say?
Aye.
Ding, 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 ding.
And then the sound engineer muted her mic so no one could hear it. Oh,
Yeah, love is blind. Right,
and deaf.
Did I ask that question?
What? Yeah, you asked.
Did you both answer?
What was the question again?
A witness one moment in history.
You answered. Yeah, you did.
Aye, Jesus Christ, you're
Right, I think it's yourself now, Mr. McCafferty.
Do you have an area of ancient history you would like to? Ancient histories?
So I feel like I'm just wheezing down.
So
the
there's
mic if you want.
Egypt, Greece, Rome.
Go scroll up a bit. Let me see the Greek one. I mean, that might be a good one. Which philosopher would be the most unbearable person to have a pint with? Have you heard the philosopher song, the Monty Python stuff?
I've not
that
seen it,
drinking
but I've
song?
heard of it.
It's pretty good. But
There's one philosopher that I can think of that I would not want to hang out with. He lived in a barrel.
of
his own-
Diogenes or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like
He
that.
used to wank in public and all that as well.
Yeah. He used to. So he lived in a barrel. He
you
used
don't do
to.
He was the guy. The guy who said he was like quite arsey with Alexander the Great, and he was like Alexander the Great wanted to know who he was, and he said, "Can you please get out of my sunshine
Yeah.
and my sunlight?"
Yeah. And it's like he used to urinate through a hole in the side of the barrel.
The reason he wanked in public is because he was comparing it to, if I need to eat, I will eat because I'm hungry, and then if I need to wank,
You know what?
wank because I'm horny.
At what point in life did we stop doing it? Monkeys still do it. They just sit there and they'll just tug away at their weird red lipstick.
If you want to bring it back, man, like,
Go ahead, just
How long have we got left in this podcast? I don't need long.
okay.
I don't really know enough about them. I know there's philosophers, but I can nearly give you the.
Alright, well, I'll ask a different one then.
I would also go Pythagoras just because he was a weirdo.
They're all a bit weird.
I think everyone they could be special. You've got to be weird, didn't you?
Go up. Do you think the pyramids were built the way historians currently believe, or is there more to the story?
I don't know if they've got a. Do they even have a theory?
Well, yeah, they have a theory.
They've got. There's numerous theories, but is there actually a theory?
There's a conventional line.
They didn't. They weren't slaves. They were paid.
And they built it in 20 years. They built a pyramid in 20 years.
I can't remember how long.
They're supposed to have done it, but it's like they've measured it, and like if they're using the techniques that they say they've used, it's like 20 years seems really.
Is that not like laying like 100 bricks a day or something, like massive big fucking things?
Huge blocks, man. It's like I've never been. It's what I'd love to go and visit, but it's one of the places where if you see sometimes it's like in Peru as well. What's it called?
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. Aye, it's like we see when you see someone standing against these big blocks. The thing about Machu Picchu is it's fucking way up in the mountains. Yeah. It's like, and you see a person stand beside him, and you really get the scale of how big these things are.
It's just like what people will do for their god.
Mega tonnage.
Yeah, but how do you get it there? Like I get that's like Egypt's in the desert, which is
rope.
It never used to be that. Like that back then, it was called like the Fertile Crescent, and they had lots of greenery actually.
Ah, right.
So it never always used to be as barren as it seems now.
But you know, like the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's like it's actually not. It's not out in the middle of nowhere at all.
No.
It is right next to Cairo. Or it's been like that for ages.
Yeah, but I mean,
you turn the camera, you can see.
There was only a McDonald's there for like the 90s though.
Did you watch The Idiot Abroad? Cal Pilkington.
I never watched it.
Oh, they were funny. Like he used to, and you could see the places, rubbish blown all.
I never liked Ricky Gervais at the time. I quite like Ricky Gervais now.
I've the opposite. I used to like Ricky Gervais. I don't like him now.
I liked him after I watched Afterlife. That was such a good show.
Aye.
He was brilliant in that. And then he started like tearing celebrities to shreds, which was so it was brilliant.
They're always fun. I still tune in if he's on doing the global what's it called?
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, that's it. Golden Globes.
Not Global Globes.
Global Gold.
I think aliens built the pyramids though.
Which ones?
I don't fucking know.
How deep are you into the alien world?
I mean, I could probably go on with it.
Let's go.
This is where I just switch off.
Luce is too
scientifically minded.
Yeah, he's always got a logical solution for it. As in what species of aliens, like a grey or a...
Who do you think?
Like a reptilian or an avian.
Well,
an avian would help because it's got big wings.
Nah, but they're all like catty people in Egypt.
So you think it was a kind of alien that kind of looked like a cat?
Possibly.
Interesting, but I don't know if a cat would be able to make a pyramid because
they just tell
push
the
it
people
off.
to do it.
You know, it would just push the brick.
Yeah, but they tell the people to do it.
I suppose it could be motivated by aliens, mind control and that. I don't know.
I don't know what species would build it. I don't know who's the best builder.
And why would they? Why would they want to build it?
Why would they?
That's the question, though, isn't it? Like,
the best thing that you can prove about the pyramids is that a pyramid, you know, like that kind of formation, is a really good way of stacking up rocks and not having them fall down for a very long time.
That is true.
But also, like, just it's the same with
Machu
Picchu as well, where it's like not all the same blocks, but some of them are like you can't put a cigarette paper between them, and they're not all the same size. It's not like It's not formulaic. It's different shapes of blocks that are being purposely fit in a way that's like so impressive.
Maybe it's just a fucking alien science experiment.
Maybe they're just messing with us, seeing how far we'll go.
I mean, that's probably true. What's going to say there about?
Aye.
I was going to say something there. I said to Lewis last week when we were talking about, we went on to the alien subject, and it's probably the wisest thing I've ever said. Maybe not wise, but we're like, we've got boats and submarines in the water, and there's fish that don't even know what they are. So what's to say that we don't know? There's no something floating about that we don't know. So they could be doing anything.
It's like even when you go fishing, you pull a fish out of the water. There's a whole new reality when it's out of the water.
Yeah.
If you fish to throw back, like that fish is going to. I mean, it won't. But if you can
Tell
imagine,
us, mate, yeah.
You can imagine if it was a sentient fish that had an ability for memory, and go back and tell its friends.
Who says they don't know? That's another thing that I always think about, like, which I can see why a lot of people don't eat meat. and don't kill like bugs and stuff, because you think to yourself, that poor bastard's come back to his wife and kids, he's been out all day slogging it, and we're going to leave a widow with fucking 18 centipedes living under our roof. Like, do they know things? They must know something. Like, sheep in a field must know something. They must have thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if you've got the capacity to suffer and you move away from pain and you move towards pleasure, I don't know how much deeper.
So do you think a sheep's just an empty head walking about a field?
No, I don't think it's an empty head. Sheep isn't the animal that I would use as a.
Well, I mean, every animal's got to have
example.
thoughts, though. There's just some of them are just a bit more intelligent.
Yeah.
It's like
Like
well,
a sheep, if a sheep
usually
walks into a fence enough times, it's going to know how to walk into the fence.
Aye.
Well, that's what I mean by moving away from pain and moving towards
Yeah,
pleasure.
so and where does it stop, though?
It's difficult to know.
Aye.
It's like if you can use that as like photosynthesis. Like plants grow will naturally turn towards the
Yeah.
sun because it's good for them. But it's like you wouldn't say that you wouldn't say that plant's moving towards the sun because it enjoys.
Do you think
the
they just have
sunshine.
a different experience of time than we do? Like, some people think that trees communicate, but they just do it really slow.
There's a really interesting documentary that I watched with that Paul Stamets guy who's the mushroom, like he's big into his mushrooms
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And
I've seen that
he
one.
talks about this network underground,
Yeah.
and they compare it to like Wi-Fi, where it's just all these plants and trees communicating with each other through this
mycelial
interconnect-
network.
it's so it's like it really is amazing to hear about that stuff, and and it's difficult to know where you're, because like there's things like what's it called where everything is conscious? What's the I forget the name of it. Oh, it's gone. But it's like everything's conscious. It's like all the way down. The actual universe began with consciousness, and but it's not in the way that we
I
recognise
mean, but
it
who's
now.
to say it's no way?
Who knows?
That's something that gets me all the time. Like, even going down in size, when you keep going down and down and down and down, they say like, the Planck length's the smallest thing that you'll ever go. But what's a plank made up of?
A plank isn't made up of anything.
But how do we know that?
Actually, a plank is made up of bones, I think, because he's dead. He's a guy, Planck.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It could be made up of ash now. They might have been cremated. I don't really know. But a plank.
Hit the canned laughter button.
Yeah. I don't know if it was. Yeah, but yeah, it's.
Like, we just don't know things. I think
Aye.
Yeah.
it's funny to think that we're sitting here talking about stuff, and in 500 years, there's going to be people, if they're still alive, in 500 years,
Aye,
that
if
are
they
looking
still
back
have-
and going,
Yeah.
"The guys thought."
Well,
that."
absolutely, but we need to be confident in the things that we use to get to know things. So it's like, so anytime anyone derides science because it's like, well, science gets things wrong, it's not. Yeah, that's true, but it's not science that it's
Well-
a scientific method. So the scientific method is all about trial and error, and it's like this is holding true for a certain amount of time. But the whole point of the scientific method is keep testing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we
until
know
anomalies start
get
to
things
occur.
better.
we know more than we've ever known. I just think it's funny that what we think we know, we probably don't know. We don't know that the Big Bang was the Big Bang. We don't know that.
No, that's just kind of the Big Bang's just, well, it's weird because it's like we know that, like, it's actually quite interesting how they derived that there must have been, or that's like old things are. It's like as old as they are. It's like as you can kind of.
Do you know what I don't understand about the cosmic wave?
Microwave background
Yeah, that.
radiation.
Right, so they say you can look around in every direction, and it's 13.9 billion years.
Yes.
Right, that would mean we're in the center of the universe.
Yeah, but there is no center of the universe. Every single point in the entire universe is its own center of the universe.
It doesn't
Everything-
It doesn't make sense. I can't.
Ah,
That
no,
just
it's
doesn't make sense
it's,
to me.
It's not intuitive, but it's like so, like the way that the kind of physics works is everything is its own like kind of reference frame. So it's like, see, if it's like if you're moving along in your car and I'm moving along in my car, if you're going 65 miles an hour and I'm going 70 and I'm going 60 miles an hour, you will look like you're going 5 miles an hour faster than me.
Yeah.
So it's so, and then but if you take that up to like the speed of light, it's like, and this is the really like the freakiest thing ever. Like this is something that doesn't click in my head. It's like if I was to shine a laser beam at something forward when I'm going 60 miles an hour, and I was to...
It still goes at the speed of light.
It still goes at the speed of light. But if you were to do it and you're going 65 miles an hour, light wouldn't move 5 miles an hour slower. It would still move at the speed of light because of relativity.
One of the things, see, if you were to get on a train that was going the speed of light, and just like fucking absolutely zooming along, and let's say you were at the back of the carriage, and then you started to run towards the front of the train, could you do it? Like, the thing that they say in terms of what would happen is time just slows down to counteract it.
It's like,
but that's like, let's get to your simulation theory. That sounds like lag. That sounds like PC lagging. It's like the universe can't deal with that kind of processing. It's like, so it's lagging.
Sorry, you go.
It's like how like limitations in terms of bit sizes. It's like the memory bus width. So it's like in 2038, there's going to be this thing called the apocalypse. Because in 1970, the standard that we use for calculating time was defined in 1970 as the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970. But the way that most computers now work is the way that they have kind of like 30. Well, it's not actually most computers. It's most embedded systems. So things that we can't change or update that are older than about 10 years ago have a 32-bit architecture, so they can't actually physically represent in just pure integer form a number bigger than about 2 billion, 2.1 something billion in positive values. So in 2038, that's when the number of seconds since 1970 reaches that value. So all clocks on systems that only have 32 bits that are a 32-bit system.
Is this not like the Millennium?
I was about to say that. The Millennium
it's like
bug.
The Millennium bug, but way worse. So it's like once we hit 2038, all of these clocks that are on 32-bit architectures are going to look back to 1901 as being their time.
See, when
how are we going to deal with that?
When people were worried about that Millennium bug, they were saying planes were going to fall at the sky and all that. Just to give the context of where I was in my life, I thought my Tamagotchi would stop working. I was like,
serious shit, man.
I was like, man, my Tamagotchi is gonna die.
Kept us alive for 8 days.
Aye, mental.
Did you not think it could be that? Because obviously people got their knickers in a twist over the Millennium bug and nothing happened. You don't think that's going to be the same in 2038?
It's going to be. I'm less worried about planes and all of that because they are kind
Wouldn't
of.
they just do a software update when somebody figures it out?
How are you going to do a software update on the system
idea.
that's on a system? How are you going to do a software update in a Russian nuclear bomb?
They just make new stuff. Will the bomb go off?
Is that what you're
I
suggesting?
don't know, but it's like it's like banking systems. Some banking systems are still like 1970. Actually, the very very early 1970s, and still use pounds, shillings, and pence. In today, their systems, they're not able to be updated. So it's like their earlier computers, like the financial system. It's like if you're calculating your like direct debits, and it's determining when to charge you. So it's going to go back to 1901, and it's going to completely mess up. It might give you hundreds of, it's like if you're paying off your house, it might give you all the money back that you spent on your house.
Fucking hope so.
Aye, that'd be brilliant.
It's really difficult to even think where we're going to be in 2030.
Aye.
When you think back
that was
to how
12
much
years ago.
It's happened in the last 10 years.
It's funny you watch movies for the 80s and now we should be flying about in cars and stuff.
Yeah.
We've went so far since then. Time has changed so much.
But we've also changed. We're still the guitars are still tubes.
Did you say earlier that we're doing the exact same thing, just with different screens?
We're watching the 20th century and the 21st century on better screens. But but it's always interesting to look back to how they predicted the future in the early 1900s. And they were I remember seeing pictures where they thought firefighters would be hovering around buildings putting out fires by now.
Yeah.
No, by not even by now, by probably in 1995.
I mean, we're probably not far
that
that though. You just have drones doing it.
There've been it's quite interesting because it's always of course, because you can never actually accurately guess it. So there's always like two extremes. There's either incredibly optimistic or there's incredibly pessimistic. In 1902, there was like articles or it's actually early in 1903, there were articles in the New York Times that were saying that powered flight is not going to happen for another million years. They were proved wrong 6 months later.
Yeah.
That's like when they talk about like fusion and stuff.
Yeah,
Say,
it's
anyway,
like once
we're never
once-
going to figure it out, but once it's figured out,
it's figured out for good. That's it.
Or when electricity was first discovered, people were saying, "Oh, there's going to be nothing." Not
Or
gonna
the
be useful.
the
I love how
internet's
we've
just
reached
going to
the
be a
2.5
fad.
hour point and the conversation's just like we're all experts now.
Aye,
Yeah, fucking nuclear scientists.
aye. So it has come to a nice part in this podcast where we should probably start talking about the songs that we're going to hear to close it out, I think.
Yeah, so before we get to that then, we'll finish off with you telling us about your songs, but what's coming up for you now?
Aye.
What gigs have we got and where are we at?
So next for me, I'm going to be playing the Solace Festival in Perth on
Beautiful.
Friday the 19th. It's a 3-day weekend festival.
Am I doing
Nice
something
family
on the 19th?
friendly festival, it seems, and I will be.
Is that a Scotland's opener that?
That's no, it's Scotland's match against Morocco, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right, 'cause I'm playing the bar, yeah.
Yeah,
What day?
19th.
It's the day I'm playing. What
Yeah,
time?
19th.
11
That's
o'clock.
late
It's
night.
11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
That's fine. I'll be done by
Yeah,
then.
you'll be done.
Aye.
I'm
Well, you can come up here again somehow because we're hosting a watch party along at the village hall.
that would be lovely, but I am going to
Perth.
be in Perth for the whole weekend.
That's a shame.
I
We're trying to get as many folk to go to this because they might just cancel it and we'll just have to all watch it in our houses.
ordinarily I would have come along to something like that, but yeah, I'm closing the Hearth stage, I think it's called, and then
Excuse me,
yeah.
can we reschedule that? Re-say that. You're not closing out, you're fucking headlining the stage.
I feel a bit uncomfortable.
But yeah,
Aye, but like a headliner has a connotation of like the draw, and I feel like I'm
you're the draw for that stage
of
though.
the acts. I'm the last on. I don't know. I feel it's like I just feel like the ambition is to become a headliner, but I just don't feel.
That
Like
is a headline. You're headlining that stage.
I'm closing.
But I
the
think
stage.
it's like it's a thing that we have as musicians. You didn't want to float your own boat. You didn't want to like.
You know what it is? It's probably not. It's not feigned humility. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's probably self-protection, because it's more embarrassing to be going around saying I'm headlining, and then when I get there, it's two folk and a dog that I'm playing to.
That, you know what? It goes in the CV as you were headlining that festival.
Well, and then when I'm trying to get other things, I'll probably frame it that way.
Yeah.
But see, it's like another thing. It's kind of like it's like a win-win because like the only people, if you go there and there are only two folk in their dug there watching you, the only folk that will know that there were only two folk in their dug watching there are those two folk in their dug.
That's true.
So
This
that's the
is-
only folk that'll say,
This is
ah,
why
they're
I
a bit.
love him.
Yeah,
Aye.
that's true.
This is why I love you, Lewis.
There you go.
Right, okay. I'm closing the stage.
So he's headlining.
You're headlining,
Solace
aye.
Festival.
And then
Headlining the whole festival.
and then I'm after that, where am I? July, I'm playing React Fest in West Kintyre.
Oh, that's far away.
It is far away. I've
Not a clue where it is.
I've not been, but I'm looking forward to it. It's like a wee.
On the peninsula.
I don't even know.
Oh.
So, did you apply for all these festivals like individually? Did you do it, or did it happen through a management company?
No, man, no. Like the management company that I'm not with anymore, they have someone on the books who applies for everybody. Every festival that I've ever got has been off an application that I made
You've done
myself.
yourself.
But I get. You've got one person, so like with the management company I was with, 30 plus bands.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
You've got one person doing application for all of that.
It's a full-time job.
Your heart's not in it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can sell myself better than someone who's on a management team selling for all that. So, but the West Kintyre one is from them actually.
Right.
So yeah, should have
Cheers.
said all that.
Cheers.
But yeah, no, it's like I'm playing there. But and the cool thing as well, they put me up in a caravan.
That's minted. Like you were in. Where was it last week? You stayed.
No, that was the week before. I was playing the Mo Fest, and they put. I shouldn't have fucking shared that as well. Like, so see on.
Cut that out, Lewis.
On no, it's fine now because we've laughed and joked about it like with the festival organisers. But so I was playing Mo Fest, and I posted. Again, I'm referencing the wheelbarrow. It says like I used to not many moons ago. I used to sleep in a wheelbarrow, and now I'm being put up in a hotel room by a music festival. What a ride was like the post, and within minutes, I'm getting messages by other artists. They put you up in a hotel room. They put you up in a hotel room. I was like, oh fuck,
Shit.
oh fuck, I should have said that. And but it was all fun and games. Like I was coming the longest way. I think that's the guy was just like, you're coming from Edinburgh, man. Like it's no problem. But that he kept. So I was drinking with the organizer like most of the weekend, and and he just kept bringing it up, saying it was like, fucking Mr. Big Man getting put up in hotel rooms. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry for posting. But so it is cool that things like that. Like, and I'm this place in West Kintyre, I'm getting put up in a caravan. Hopefully, I can say that. I don't know if there's any other artists playing, but
you're just sharing about 18 other musicians.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well,
But
think about how many miles away that is for here, and here isn't even as far as where you're coming from.
I know. It's going to take me 6 hours to get there, but I'm going to probably stay at my mates in Glasgow the night before because it'll give me a wee bit of head start.
Aye.
And I just like there's people that won't do that. Like I went down to Dunn's for a Dunn's beer and
I'd play in the Moon.
Food and beer festival. Yeah, it's like I like it. It's a wee adventure, man. It's a wee. I like
we've
places.
been out. Manchester's the furthest we've been.
Yeah,
that was a very productive evening.
I was actually talking about that after this. We can kind of talk about that, but try to get a group of folk together just to go down, fill a car up, and go and hit like open mics in different cities.
It's such a cool thing to do, man. It's like it's a wee adventure. Like I went down to Camper Colin last year, which is another festival that I applied for, and which is just near Birmingham. You have to go. I had to end up getting a flight to Birmingham to then get a taxi to this wee place in Shropshire, I think it's called. It's where Shakespeare lived, and the annoying thing is, so I've got a GS Taylor mini guitar. And I went with EasyJet, I think, and they have these dimensions that you're allowed to take on, and my guitar is 2 centimeters thicker than it should be.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up having to buy a seat for my guitar as well. But it's like, again, I'm willing to do that. I want to go places. I want to fucking experience and meet new people. And the thing is, like when I was down in Camper Colin, there was this couple that were walking past as I was sort of speaking into the mic, and the woman of the couple was a Scottish woman, and she came in because she knew the Scottish accent. Came in, I ended up drinking with them after. She's coming up to Scotland next month. She says she's going to come to West Kintyre because they like to go around festivals.
Aye,
that makes
lovely.
it all worthwhile, man. It's like that's just, I'm making connections with people. I'm meeting people. I'm learning about their stories, and she's shared about her life with me, and that's what it's all about, man. I will go anywhere if I can afford it and I can do it at the time. Then I'm going to do it.
No, totally. Because just like you say, you could be fucking dead tomorrow.
Aye.
Don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Just after that.
So.
Because you're busy.
Well, Belgium.
Belgium,
Fucking that.
Big one, man. Yeah. That's this year. Meadows was on my radar, but I'd love to play Belgium. What? So you've got quite a lot of festivals this year. What advice can you give to getting onto a festival? Like when you're putting an application in, what do you think?
The best one, I suppose, Solace Festival would be the one that would be the best one to give advice on, because spend time on it. So Solace Festival have a very kind of structured ethos of what they want to bring to the festival. So it's very kind of spiritual. It's about community and all that kind of thing, and they've got it all on their website. My advice would just be
do your homework.
Do your homework, and don't contrive it though. Like, don't just mirror it because it's like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
You find connection in it. So with it being a community based thing, I've got experience. Like in my actual job, I'm supporting homeless men. I'm trying to bring that kind of community thing. I teach guitar to the guys at work if they're willing and want to. So I'm finding touchstones that I can say, like, I'm doing this in my life. I write music about meaning. I write music about, like, I'm not religious, and don't lie to them. So I said to them, I had never heard of this festival until I applied for it, until it came up my radar, and having read about it and understanding your ethos, I think we would be a good fit, and don't just and I think that's what was happening with the management company. You know, the festivals,
They're
they
just
might
generic.
be applying for generic stuff.
Yeah.
I'm meeting these festivals halfway, and I think I could bring something to it. So that would be my advice for applying for festivals.
So see, when you're saying that the application is usually just like a page or like a Google form. Is that right? So you're fitting that
depends on
in
the
just in
festival.
like the description part,
It depends on the festival.
right?
With I don't remember if it was for Solas, but there are festivals that says why are you applying for this?
Right.
It's kind of like a job application.
Yeah.
Why do you want to work for Asda? Well, I don't, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. You just got to fit the
yes,
make it right. Okay.
But it depends on the application, and often you will find they're asking the question in addition to your bio and song tracks and that. So like, what makes you think you're good for this festival? And if they don't, fucking fit it in somewhere. You know, just be different and don't just paste your bio.
Yeah.
Think. Well, let's fix this bio.
I don't think I can apply for 50 today. Think I can put 5 good applications
Exactly
in, or
that.
2
Exactly
good
that,
applications in today.
Exactly that. Quality over quantity.
Yeah. That's I applied for a lot of festivals this year, but
Why apply for Meadows and didn't get it? You know.
well, I mean, we've applied for loads and got one. You've got loads, so it's just.
They're not all
swings
be
and
the same
roundabouts,
way though. So Belladrum was through Rory Campbell.
Right.
Rory Campbell. Me and him, we got in touch with each other. He actually reviewed my track from one of my albums. One of my tracks from the album last year, Reason to Run, and we've become really good friends.
Yeah.
And it turned out we knew each other from long ago. We lived in Glenoffice at the same time, moved in the same circles, knew the same people, and he's been really kind. And this is one of the things with musicians who are open to meeting new musicians and being supportive of one another. I find that with him. I find that with yourself. There's a lot of musicians that kind of shut off because it's competitive.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be any use to either of us if we don't become friends and just fucking help each other out. You know. And Rory is like that. Rory is so fucking kind and generous with his time and just whatever. And we ended up sharing. He didn't actually have many contacts. He had good ones, but he didn't have many. I've built up this big, massive list of contacts in the last 2 years, and I was happy. I had just shared it with Wave of the Flood, Lindsay Strachan, and I also shared my contact lists with Rory.
Yeah.
And he shared what he had with me. And one of the things that he shared with me was an email address for the guy that runs the free range stage at Belladrum. I was like, fucking happy days. I'll email him. And he got back to me and says, you've emailed me too soon. Remind me this time, and we'll see what we can do. And I emailed him again at the time that he said, saved a wee reminder on my phone just to make sure I emailed him exactly the day that he wanted me to message him. And didn't really hear anything. And then the next email, he actually emailed me twice because I think he didn't get something that I sent him. He's like, did you get this? Because, you're not emailed back. And I had. I was like, fuck's sake, I'm so glad you've emailed again, because somebody else might have just went, fuck this guy, he's not interested.
Yeah.
But, he says, you're acoustic, right? Because it's an acoustic stage. And obviously he must have listened to my music and realised it's like full band stuff. So he's like, yeah, I'm acoustic. He's like, right, cool. And then sent me the contract and said, and he's such a fucking. It's funny as well. I must have been because I was working with Reaction for so long that people at the top of the
roster?
not the roster, the lineup. People at the top of the lineup, I've conditioned myself to think that's the first person on. So when I got the lineup through for Belladrum, I saw myself near the top. I was like, okay, right, I'm going to be on early. And then when I actually looked at it again, I was like, fucking really great time, man. Like fucking 7 o'clock or something like that in the evening. It's like perfect time.
Maybe on the TV and everything. That's fucking excellent.
Well, I don't know, man. But so Rory Campbell's to thank for that, for me getting Belladrum. Because if I didn't have that access to that email address, I would not be playing Belladrum this year.
Brilliant, man.
So and this is the thing like we're talking about, making these connections, and I'm not the only person that's come into contact with Rory Campbell in the last couple of years. I'm the one that's getting playing Belladrum because we've become pals. Yeah. And it's that's how it should be.
The problem, I think, there's a lot of problem where people, like you've sent me a lot of information, like emails and people to speak to and how to communicate with people in the industry. But there's so many people that, and we've kept in touch since that. We've went back and forth. I mean, we're good friends now. We do a lot of things that we go together at gigs and whatever.
Yeah.
But there's people that will be like, oh, hey, they'll hear this and they'll be like, oh, Stephen McCafferty's got all these contacts. And they'll be like, hey, mate, all right, you all right for helping me out with this? And then you never hear back from them. It's just like...
You know them a mile off, man.
Yeah.
Like there's been people that have got in touch with me when they've seen whatever, there might be a bit of buzz around something that I've just done. People get in touch.
Yeah, that's when it happens.
Aye.
Eh?
And I know, I can see it. And it's like, I'm not giving that away this easy.
Yeah.
You got to seduce me.
Yeah.
Buy
Buy me dinner first.
Exactly. But you'll know it. You recognise those people from a mile off, man. And it's like... And it's
You
like,
want to help each other out, but you want to help the good guys out. You don't want to help someone that's just fucking raping you for information.
That's it. And it's a small circle, but you know, you can add to it as you go on. Because
Totally,
you recognise good folk, man. It's like music can be competitive, and I think it's the scarcity that we mentioned earlier in another context. But especially in Scotland is considered this. Like if you take BBC Introducing for example, like it's only one show in Scotland and there's like 20 shows in England. Yeah. And I get it, it's a bigger country than that, but when you've got someone applying for BBC Introducing in Scotland, whether you're from Galley Shields or up in the Orkneys, it's going to the same show. So it's like there's a scarcity there. And because there's scarcity, and not just with BBC Introducing, I just use that as an example, but Scotland in general, there's only a few companies that are doing booking, there's only a few companies that are doing, you know, other things. Because of that scarcity, it's going to imbue our endeavours with competition, and we're going to feel competitive. But you know, it's not useful to anyone. I've went through it when I was a younger person, like in my teens and in my 20s. I think it's also that ego of a young person, and you feel entitled to opportunities or deserving of success. That can leave you twisted, and you get envious over the success of other artists. And again, it's only hurting you. It's not hurting the people that you're envious of. It's only hurting you. And we all have it. We all have it. And it's like, it's a case of being able to reason yourself out of it and get yourself to a more communal ethos where we're helping each other. Because at the end of the day, we love music. We're doing it because we love it. And if I can help you get to where you want to be, I don't think of it as transactional, but I would hope, you know, that there's going to be some sort of...
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You don't go into it hoping that if I scratch this guy's back, we get my back scratched. But you also don't want to scratch somebody's back for them to fuck you over.
Exactly.
Or just run away with your information.
Aye.
So there's enough cake out there for everybody.
Yeah.
So let's all eat.
Let's all eat.
Aye.
Yeah. Is Belladrum last on the line, or is
no? Actually, I've got a gig. I've not put it up in my band's in time yet, but I've got a gig in Nice and Sleazy. It's an acoustic night in September.
Nice.
I think that's the last one on the
Who's that with?
on the list. Yupty.
Nice.
Met him through Bonnie. I don't know if you've come across Bonnie Presents Scotland.
Aye, I know the page. I don't know the person. No.
She the gig's not through her, but the first time I ever played with Yupty was through her. Amazing. Like I remember I played with them. So like it's honestly quite a democratic way of paying folk as well. So I went through to playing Dundee for them through Bonnie. I played with Rory that night, and I played with a few others. I brought fuck all. I mean, it was maybe about 3 people there for me. And but it was a busy night. And you sign up for Yupty, you put in your bank details and all that kind of stuff. And I remember being quite dubious about it at the start, because I was like, fucking another thing to sign up for as a musician. And had a great time. Then I remember I bought a hotel that night, and I remember like drunkenly I had like fucking chili sauce all down me for my chips and cheese and all that kind of stuff. I remember walking down the hotel foyer, and I got a message saying, "You've been paid." I was like, "Oh fuck, I've been paid. Why? Money's going in my account. Where's that come from?" And I was like, and it was quite a significant amount for how little I contributed. I was like, "Yupty." So it was kind of all. I got paid directly after the almost immediately after the gig. I was like, "Fucking hell, man, that's a great."
Yeah.
And so the guy called Doug, and he seems really sound, and he's putting on a kind of songwriter night in the
nice.
Nice and Sleazy, September 12th. So that's the last one on the calendar so far. But I fully expect other things.
That's it. Like
Aye.
we've just done the Meadows there, and that was like we had this wee run of amazing gigs, and
Very
we've
big
got,
ones.
we've got
Aye.
hardly in it at the moment. And people have been saying, "Like, what you got next?" I'm like, actually, fucking not got anything. But it's not the worst thing. Things come up.
They do.
Yeah, obviously we've got our other stuff coming up as well. So
Well, this is like the thing as well. Like this year has been the first year I've had to turn stuff down because it's
That's amazing,
conflicting
man.
with other things. So
that
like,
is amazing.
somebody just got in touch. Like, that Dunn's Beer and Food Festival. That guy just messaged me the other day saying, "Oh, can you want to come down again for September 12th?" I was like, "Oh, actually, I'm playing that time." And then I said to you in the voice message when we were talking about emailing festivals back even after they've rejected you. Hadstock rejected me, and I get in myself. I'm like, "Oh, you fucking bastards!" But I would never say that. It's like because I know it's like, yeah, you've got.
There's so many applications.
These people must get hundreds and hundreds of really good bands, and you'll know it yourself, man. You gig anywhere, you know how much talent's out there, and so you can get rid of that little fucking wee ego. Right, okay.
That happens to everybody though. Yeah. You get the rejection. You're like, bastards.
Aye. And I'd already been confirmed from Belladrum at that point, so I was like, "Fucking Hadstock turning me down. I'm playing Belladrum."
Thank you.
So I was like, "No, I bet ego. Fucking throw that away." And right, okay, I get it. And I emailed her back, and I understood. And it was like a nice, polite, professional email. And then she got back to me and says, "You were so close, but we just wanted to pay attention to local acts and stuff like that." And it's like, and it made me realise, I'm so silly for thinking that. And initially, it's like, because rejection's hard for it. Even it doesn't matter how old you get. And then
especially when your job is to like get appreciation.
Yeah, exactly.
Rejection's like even worse.
Oh.
But then she got back and says, "Here, would you be up for if their slot becomes available? Would you be up for it?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And she got back with a slot, and I actually had to turn it down because it was clashing with MoFest. But it's like that's why it's good to build these relationships, and you realise, man, the deeper you get into music, you realise how fucking small the world is. You meet people that know people, and reputation's so important. And if you burn bridges, you're not just burning bridges with that person, you're burning bridges with who they know as well. So I was playing MoFest again. Sorry, I was playing MoFest, and a lassie who's been supporting me for the last 2 years on Angus Radio, North Angus Radio, or something like that. She's been supporting me for a couple of years, and I had no idea that she was the niece of Jim Gallagher.
Right.
No idea. And then I only found out because when I was heading back from Montrose on the Sunday, I was listening to Amazing Radio because Jim Gallagher played me. And he was like, "And that was Stephen McCafferty, who's just off the back of Montrose Festival, who my niece helps organise, Katie." I was like, "Katie? Surely not, that's the fucking same Katie." And I messaged her, I says, "Are you Jim Gallagher's niece?" She said, "Oh, aye, I've known him for 20 years. I was like,
That's like you say,
mental.
small world there.
I mean, you can imagine if I had, like, if at any point, that situation would never have happened because, like, me and Kate have been sound the whole time, but imagine if I had just fucking been arsey because it was like North Angus Hospital Radio or something. I was like, nah, I don't need to be, or whatever, I've just been a bit dick.
I suppose
that gets back to Jim Gallagher, and Jim Gallagher's been supporting me since I was 17. All of a sudden he stops. I'm like, why the fuck has he stopped supporting me?
When you think about it though, doesn't matter what job you've got. When I was a truck mechanic, you knew the truck mechanics through and about, like for different cities, because you would speak to them on breakdowns, or you would speak to them. So you kind of, I suppose every industry's the same, eh?
Yeah.
It is a small. Once you start getting to like that, more, not just everybody.
Yeah.
So you've got in a warehouse, you've got fucking 100 workers. But you've got the really good ones. Then that's when you kind of start moving up, and everyone knows about them. So I think everything's really the same. It must be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool to know that you've got that coming up. Belladrum's a big one, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. By then, because I'm obviously going to be I'm going doing the same rollout as I did for the first album, so it's going to be a single every 8 weeks, and I reckon I should be on about maybe single 3
That's brilliant, man.
of this year by then. And actually, like the reaction to this first single. See, when I compare that back to
carry on.
So the Debt Collectors just released a couple of weeks ago. That's the first single of the second album rollout. Although I've been asked by my promotion company not to call it an album yet because it's 20 months long and they don't want to keep repeating the same thing for the same people. So maybe halfway through we start calling it an album. But
tricks of the trade.
Just so you know, it's a fucking second album rollout, same as the first album. when I compare the reaction to this single, which is the first one of this rollout, to the first song of the first album rollout, which was "What Are We Waiting For," which was like it was like a drop in the ocean. Like nobody fucking knew who I was or had any interest in listening. Debt Collectors is like it's entering a momentum that was being built off the back of that the first album, and it's just like it's like I feel more so now part of an ecosystem that I've never felt before in bands as well. I've never felt it before. I feel like I'm in a new phase, and it's amazing. I feel excited. I feel excited and motivated, and it just feels like a different phase. And I'm
brilliant.
I'm looking forward to everything coming.
It's brilliant that you're just, and again think when you've released the first album, you've put in a lot of graft. You've been out there, you've been slogging, you've been working, you've been playing bits, playing places, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And a lot of people want to be Oasis and Arctic Monkeys, where their debut album's like the number one album that comes out, but it doesn't happen like that.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think that sort of thing was, unless you've got serious fucking financial backing behind you. I just don't know if that can happen anymore.
I don't know if that was the case for even like the Arctic Monkeys.
No, but I'm still thinking that's a different time. Compared to like MySpace was just kicking off in the Arctic Monkeys. And that's where that they were given a kind of bootleg MP3s around at gigs and that, and they got big in a very DIY way. I don't know if that exists anymore. Like, and this is the thing. Like a lot of people, and again, it's that youthful naivety where you think that you're waiting for this moment to happen, and then that moment is going to be so fucking gigantic that it carries you the rest of the way. That's rare.
Yeah.
For the vast majority of people, it's like a series of little victories that compound, and you just keep getting these little wins. Mm-hmm. And I've been feeling. I've definitely been feeling it with this stuff that I've been doing that is coming. This latest single where there's these little things like today, like that audition thing on Amazing Radio, just came in there. I genuinely didn't.
Can you just tell us what that was? Because I saw, I knew that I was voting for something, but I didn't actually know what I was.
That's the difference. Like I've had support from people that are like kind of tastemakers and stuff like that, but this was like public vote.
Yeah.
This is actually through the promo company as well. So it's like they got me on the Amazing Radio audition with Charlie Ashcroft. And then people have to vote for their favourite song. I mean, it's such a fucking stellar list of tunes as well. Like, if I was being objective, like, I wouldn't be choosing my fucking song. Like, out of all those, man, there was some absolutely belters on this song.
It's a good song.
Thanks, man. But there was some genuinely great songs on this list. And obviously, I put out a few posts saying, like, can you vote for this and everything like that. And even when it came out today, so I was on TikTok and it came up that Amazing Radio had tagged me. And I was like, and I saw they were doing a top 3. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I'll be number 3. And then the number 3 one came out and says, oh, fuck, I'm not number 3. I must be number 2. Yeah. and then the number 2 person goes, no fucking way.
That's amazing, man.
No way. I can't believe that. I didn't think, like I said to you, I didn't think I had enough mates to vote for something like that. Because see, when it comes to public poll, it's like the band that has the most mates that typically wins. And
it obviously means that you've got a following there. And there's people that appreciate what you're doing.
More than I realised, but it's...
fantastic, man. I saw it earlier. I was
that's these little victories. It's like it's not gigantic. If that was isolated, it would be like, well, that's cool, man. But it's like that in combination with all these other little things that keep happening. That's the thing that builds the momentum. It's little victories. Yeah. It's not this big gigantic moment. I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to go viral. I'm not that kind of artist. But it's these little fucking wins. You know. It's
fucking. And it's very cool, and it's cool to have. Somebody like yourself on as the first guest.
It really
Thank you
is.
for having us.
Aye. So it's just the last 2 songs then.
Yeah, that's right. Before we stop, we'll introduce them, and then we'll play them at the end, and we'll call it a day.
Sound. Well, thank you guys for having us. It's really appreciated.
It was brilliant. It's been a really good chat, and I think because we're really early in the career as well of being musicians, it's nice to hear someone that's further down the road and tips and tricks and pointers and pitfalls and stuff that happens, and it's nice to learn from other people and speak to other people. So
well, I appreciate that, man. Like it's nice that you feel that way. I don't necessarily feel like I'm further down the road. I feel like we're at the same space. Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. But in terms of where we are, I don't feel like that.
Yeah, you're killing it, man.
I appreciate that, man.
We've not got as many songs. We've not written that
No,
as many.
you've been grinding, you've been grafting, but it
Aye.
shows that if we keep doing what we're doing, then the festivals will come. And festivals are the secret.
Yeah.
For, I don't think people understand what a festival actually is, because you play gigs at, like the movement said, we played it at Banshees, and you play it with 3 bands. You've got 3 bands there and they've got fans, but you play a festival and you've got 50 bands that are playing.
Yeah.
And there's people wandering about all day, and you're catching attention of people, and they're watching you for a song, and they're like, actually quite like that guy.
A festival is amazing. Like I said to you before, in my previous band, Return to the Sun, we played Isle of Wight 2 years in a row. We played it, and we played. It was called the Hey Joe stage, and I don't remember which year it was. I can't. They've kind of melded into one, so I don't really remember which is which. But it was a tent. We were in the tent, and there was fuck all in there except for the bar staff.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's like what you're saying, it's that festival, everybody's moving around and stuff like that. It was one of the most exciting experiences, because that tent filled up so quickly once we started playing. Yeah. And we ended up doing an encore and everything like that. And it was like this. It was like fucking a good couple of hundred of folk in that tent by the time we finished our set. And it was amazing. Like, and again, that doesn't happen. You don't get accidental footfall at bars. No. You get accidental footfall at festivals. Yeah. Because people are in that kind of spirit. And, it's like, I'm here to listen to music.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds alright.
Yeah.
Like when I said to the Camper Colin, the woman heard me speaking down the mic. She had a Scottish accent, and we're far from home. Yeah. Birmingham, not that far, but it feels like we're far from
enough.
Home. And she wanted to come in with her husband to listen because she had a Scottish accent. So festivals are good, not just in terms of the direct consequences of it, but the CV, the bio. Yeah. It's validation. Yeah. So it's like people are going, well, if they've taken a chance on this person, maybe we should too.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Do you want to just give us a wee run through the last 2 songs that we've got to play?
What was the last 2?
There's one.
It was a. What did I play? The Road.
That was one of them, and Leaving Eden.
Oh, Leaving Eden, yeah.
That's it. Leaving Eden first. We played Leaving Eden first. Sorry.
So that's one of the newer ones. It's not going to be part of the next 10. It's probably going to be part of the next lot after that. I wrote that last year, and it taps into that kind of existential theme that I tend to dip into. I like the idea of Leaving Eden generally, not in a kind of religious sense, but in that the innocence of youth. Like if you take Adam and Eve eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and all of a sudden they lose their innocence and they become aware of their own mortality. That's kind of what I'm driving at with leaving.
Coming of age.
Leaving Eden. I would say so. It's not so coming of age in a kind of cinematic sense, where you become an adult. It's probably more so coming of age as a middle-aged person. It's realizing that you're going to die, and what like in the pre-chorus.
There is so many different coming of ages in life, isn't there?
Aye, exactly. Absolutely.
Like you're a teenager and then you're becoming an adult, and then you get to like say middle age, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm going to be dead in 30 years." It's coming, eh?
And I know, and I think you've got to come to terms with it, and it's realising where your meaning is and where your value. And most of my songs are about looking for that meaning. Buffalo is about that. Leaving Eden's about that. In the pre-chorus, in Leaving Eden, it says, "So what's it worth? A pound of flesh, a heap of hallowed earth." The pound of flesh is referencing a Shakespeare play, and hallowed earth is just this idea that we've just got this, this sacred ground. Is that really what life's all about? This matter, this material, is that what life's about? And it isn't for me. Music has been the fucking driving force my whole life. Yeah, that's where my meaning is, and that's again. I would need to look at the lyrics, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. And The Road is again about that sort of thing. It's about the journey of a man. Like my favourite verse is the second one. It's there is a man stretched out on his deathbed, dying for one more day in the sun, obsessing on the things that he said he would do when all was said and done. And it's that idea of an unlived life, which is where I get a lot of my inspiration from. again, a lot of the reasons that I got back into music because I felt like I had all these songs in me, and it's like I was just, they were kind of almost
Bubbling, ready to get out.
No, shriveling without me
Right,
putting them out there. You know, it's like I needed to get them out, and there's nothing like something worse than dying is an unlived life. If you look back on your deathbed, that you say, I could have done so much more. That's hell. Yeah. And I guess
you live your life that way?
Sorry?
Do you live your life that way?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's an artist type way of living, because you know how. I think artists are so in tune with their emotions, even maybe not in tune with emotions, but they know their emotions are there.
I think they're in tune with them because of music. So like, you can express yourself and articulate and process how you feel, regulate how you feel through the expression of art. And I think that's why we create art. I mean, you're talking about inspirations earlier on. The thing that's been inspiring me and consistently inspires me and continues to inspire me in terms of the things I write about was a book by a guy called Ernest Becker, who wrote this book called The Denial of Death, and he has this idea that culture is born out of this tension that exists between the finite beings that we are and this kind of quasi-infinite mind that can imagine and dream up and invent things like the telescope that we fire into space in the back of the rocket, and it can see the beginning of time. It's like, that's fucking mental. That's godlike. So we've got this godlike capabilities, and yet we shit and fuck like a dog. And it's like, and we don't like that. There's like he has a line in the book that says we're animals that don't want to be animals, and he thinks it's that tension between the finite and the quasi-infinite that gives birth to culture. And it's through culture that we derive meaning. And through art that we derive meaning, and it's important for that reason.
Fucking hell. You're deep mofo.
Very nice and very deep.
Yeah.
So, Thanks, guys.
Woo.
Whoa. So deep, guys.
Anyway.
That's.
I think that's...
You're happy with your description of your songs, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Aye.
New single, Debt Collectors, is out now. Get it on all platforms. Steve McCafferty. What's your socials?
StephenMcCafferty.com is my website, and everything else can be found there. Stephen with a PH.
Yeah.
McCafferty, although I was at Scotland Training the other night and she called me Caffrey. The host called me McCafferty or McCaffer, which often happens. But it's McCafferty. McCafferty. And all the socials can be found via that website.
Minted.
Aye.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll do it again.
Nice
and if not, we'll see you at episode 100.
Aye, absolutely.
At the reunion party at Times Square.
Can't wait.
Right.
Brilliant. Okay.
Excellent. I'm Jack Brodie.
And I'm Lewis Rennie.
And this has been XLRtists.
Joined delightfully by...
Stephen with a PH.
Stephen.
And McCafferty. Okay.
Right, see you next time.
See you next time. Woo!
Leaving Eden is something we almost do, but there will never be a right time. Believe me when I say these days will stay with you. Shadows cast in the winter sunshine, bereft of meaning, a gut feeling none of it was true. While knowing at the back of your mind, these dreams you're dreaming, for all that they'll amount to, you will still have to leave them behind. So what's it worth? A pound of flesh, a heap of hallowed earth. The race is lost if we don't get off this rocking horse. If only love was enough, I would follow you through any desert sun, from here to Timbuktu. If only love was enough, I would follow you. I swear by all that I hold dear. By all I hold dear. these feelings you can't explain, that fall apart when you try to. It keeps you breathing, and for that you let it tame the fire burning inside of you. Blaspheming, heaving to bite the hand, feeding dust of grain. Maybe show a little gratitude. Stone hearts are bleeding for a people demanding change, and not another brief interlude. So what's it worth? A pound of flesh, a heap of hallowed earth. The race is lost if we don't get off this rocking horse. If only love was enough, I would follow you through any desert sun, from here to Timbuktu. If only love was enough, I would follow you. I swear by all that I hold dear. 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 There is a road, straight as an arrow, cutting through a swallowed up town, full of ghosts, chasing shadows, in and around the old stomping ground. A little king defending his castle, heavy hangs the head that wears the crown. By the time you swing from the old town gallows, there'll be no one there to cut you down. Lost in this wilderness of the soul, losing count of the times that you have lost it all. Maybe it never goes away and stays with you long after the matinee. Are we forever fated to fall prey to an invisible line, holding sway, holding sway? La 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 la. La 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 la. There is a man stretched out on his deathbed, dying for one more day in the sun, obsessing on the things that he said he would do when all was said and done. I know king now in a burnt out castle, but there are some things you cannot outrun. Every day the road you travel isn't the road you think you're on. Lost in this wilderness of the soul, losing count of the times that you have lost it all. Maybe it never goes away and stays with you long after the matinee. Are we forever fated